The views expressed on this program are those of the host and guests and not the views of this radio station.
You, and you thought we was going away. Nah, it's Speak Out.
But let me just reverse a bit and say good morning to the listeners of Vibes. Welcome to the program.
If I stay within my setting as a public officer, as the public relations officer, and I stay just within the office space and do not go out to the public, how will we understand what is happening on the ground?
Still delivering.
We've done a lot. Not just in terms of the general infrastructure, but homes, support to farmers, support to fishermen, etc. And as time goes by, more support will be given to Carriacou and Timati.
It's Speak Out Unfiltered. Built back, even better to last.
Let us all strive to build a better country by putting aside our petty grievances and move forward with dignity, being proud of working hard and working together.
Anything that we're doing now, it's futuristic thinking. It's not for the now.
Education is the key in a country's development. That's it. If its people are not developed,
Even though go that far, no? Just remember knowledge is power. When you know, you know.
that's it.
It's Speak Out Unfiltered.
We're happy to have you.
On Vibes 101.3 and 106.3 FM every Thursday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Do you feel the vibes? Going.
And it's just about time for us to say good morning again to you right here on Vibes FM. Welcome to the program Speak Out Unfiltered for today, Thursday. And everything is fine as you're making your way up and around. We hope you're going to have a wonderful experience this morning with us right here as you always do. It's your program. I want to remind you, it's interactive. You can always call us when we open up our telephone lines. I'll give you the numbers in just a little while from now. But our listeners on Facebook, we want to say good morning to you. Those of you on the YouTube, good morning as well. On your radio, good morning. Wherever you are in your vehicles, driving around or maybe just relaxing at home, good morning to you. Thank you so much for tuning in. The telephone numbers to join in with us is 403-0101, 403-0101, and 443-0101, 443-0101. You can also call 458-1914, 458-1914. 1914. A lot of things taking place. So let me introduce my co-host of the program. First of all, Coy, I want to say good morning to you. How are you doing? Good morning.
Good morning to you. Good morning to my comrade right alongside me here. So Leo, good morning to the entire listening audience, wherever you might be. It's nice again. I mean, I always like to remind ourselves, and that I always look forward to being part of this experience. And so I am here waiting to engage, waiting to discuss, because I think there are other solid and important things taking place that we need to speak about.
Okay, Solio, good morning to you. What's up?
Good morning, my Redeemer. How are you?
Not too bad at all. Everything fine this morning.
Oh, after a brief absence because of circumstances beyond my control.
Right.
I'm here again, all fired up. In other words, guns cocked and loaded.
Yes, okay. Well, that's good.
Yes?
It's cocked and loaded?
Yes. Loaded and cocked.
Oh.
Should be. And because the struggle does indeed continue. I've been listening to a few comments along the road recently, and I yet to understand the rationale. So this one will delve into a few things that I think will keep some people on the on the heels, because one guy was saying we're always talking about the ex-prime minister, if we can have anything else to talk about. But I am saying, as long as the damage done to Carriacou exists, we have to continue to remind people what brought us to where we are, so that we should never go back there again. So
You're right.
please-
You're right about that, Solio, because we always, sometimes forget our history, and because of that, we're inclined to make mistakes or repeat mistakes.
But you see, because a lot of people don't understand that what's bothering me now most recently is the fact that every second person you find here in Carriacou, the complaint is that you can't find anybody who wants to work.
Yeah.
You can find people who are willing to do a day's work or get out of the bed and contribute. Well, that is so far removed from the Carriacou, which I grew up.
Yeah.
We knew what it was to be independent. And if we have to suck salt, we will suck salt in independence. Because I could remember the late Eric Matthew Gary, was quite a charismatic figure. And he didn't enjoy too much popularity in Carriacou simply because he made the mistake to say that he's not going to do anything for Carriacou until Carriacou will have respect for him. So we continue to disrespect him by not voting for him.
Right.
Because if you're not going to service us as we deserve, and you think that we must depend on you or be your lapdog, not so.
You're talking about Sir Eric. Then and what I recall as a little boy going to attending a meeting in the Market Square. In them days, it was Market Square.
Market Square, yes.
Yes. And yes, I remember him saying that people of Carriacou will suck salt for sand or sand for salt.
Yeah.
I didn't understand it all at that time. But I live to see what that means.
Yeah.
Make them see trouble.
Yes.
Just forget about them.
Yeah. And look at how close sand and salt is. So you could be easily fooled.
Well, but you can make us suck sand for salt because Carriacou have plenty sand. But see, the thing is, that is why Robert Augustus Blaise was able to represent Carriacou literally unopposed, because you could check the GOLP votes at any election in Carriacou.
Yeah.
Not only check the votes, but you could go and say it's you and you and you and you.
Yeah.
There were that few. So and it gave us that feeling of we were not vulnerable. We were independent, and again we were poor but very proud. So we stood our grounds, and it got us to where we are. You must be able to do for self. So you see, if we were taught that independence, if we weren't taught to give up our agriculture, you see what's happening in America now?
Yeah.
We've been less vulnerable and trumped with all the gimmicks and the foolishness. We'd have been more food sufficient.
Yeah, because as you just mentioned, sorry, I remember growing up, and that was our livelihood, and that was our source of survival.
Of course.
Which was the land. You were in the land, and you produce as much as you can in the land. And in those shops too, and those days, remember, there was not much like supermarkets and nothing of the nature.
No.
We weren't missing nothing.
No, and our food wasn't processed.
No.
We cook and process, You cook it.
It rolled. The young process, it was rolled.
It was rolled, man. I tell you what, in every shape and form. Whether you roast it, you fry it, you boil it, you kukupa, kukuti, wherever it is. And we were sustained by that and quite healthy too. We didn't realize what we were doing, that meat was such a rarity on our diet. We thought it's because we were poor. But God said we need health, not belly full.
Right, yes.
So we ate nutritiously and we didn't even realize it, what we were doing. You drink a little bush tea and the herb, and it's good.
We had that kind of a unity among us too, whereby if you didn't have,
we share.
We shared. That was very, very pronounced.
Well, talking about sharing, you understand what the expression "come for fire" means?
Yeah.
But I don't think you do.
No, remind me.
Well, see, match had a price back then, So if you have a fireside that's lit.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of striking a match and wasting your money,
You're going,
you go by the neighbor and tip a,
Take a fast.
and tip a fire stick. So you have time to waste. So you come for fire, you're busy. You understand? So you come.
You speak of that, I know when we light a fire, and we finish cooking, whatever, we sometimes keep it going
Yes.
as long as possible.
Somebody
And sometimes, you go back there and start blowing again to see if you could get a little bit of a fire
yes,
to
somebody,
restart.
exactly so.
Yes.
See, so when
Come for fire.
somebody come for America and they're going back tomorrow, oh, you come for fire?
yeah.
That's the expression.
Touch and
You're
go.
busy.
Yeah, yeah.
Touch and go.
Yeah.
Yes. You can't afford to waste time on the first two out because you'll take it to your house to light your fireside.
Mm-hmm.
So hence the reason come for fire.
Yeah. But over the years, though, we have lost that sort of a bond, the division, that is today.
Well, that is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That is why you see who created that
Division.
wicked
Yeah.
divide in Carriacou. As long as that divide isn't corrected, the person, the guilty party, have to hear about it, because even in America, sometimes you find go to a repast and the amount of food and money that is brought to that, we supporting each other,
Yeah.
you support. The bereaved are bound to cook,
Mm-hmm.
The bereaved are bound to cook. You have no repast, so everybody working with something.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So supporting you, this is your time of bereavement. It's not your time to be spending and worrying where this coming from and that coming from.
Yeah.
Good friends and neighbor will contribute.
Yeah.
And this way, each one help one. So that kept us ahead of the game. And that is the kind of a life and living that we need to put us ahead. Division is never, ever good. Never, ever good. And that thing was so successful here in Carriacou. So successful that, again, it bothers me. You see how people react to each other. And again, for what? Because they were told that, you're poor and you're vulnerable. And you do nothing and I'll take care of you. Don't worry about them other people. In the meantime, you're eating all that there is on the table, and you still think it's hard to give those who are poor and vulnerable the crumbs. You complain.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how we live in.
Yeah.
As you mentioned those things that used to happen in those days.
Mhm.
Any one of you could recall having to go to a neighbor and I say, Mammy or whoever, Nanny or whoever, what you call it, send me for I could piece of butter. I mean,
No.
no. Well, I'm not.
That was common knowledge.
But no, I mean,
Did
you're talking about the whole camaraderie-ness.
Mhm.
You're talking about the whole togetherness.
Yeah.
But I mean, that is, in my view, a direct example. I mean, that's food, that's things to eat, to cook. And you go and say, Mommy, send me for a little bit of butter, please. But don't forget, you have to please.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I'm just saying,
Well,
in those times, why can't we say, well, let me go by neighbor or friend around the village and say, boy, I want a spoon of salt. Example.
See, well, as a matter of fact, there's some folks in every community, there are those who are a little better off than others, even though we're all poor.
Right.
And you'll find those who at the bottom knew so well, if they have nothing at home to eat, they're looking at the signs, they're looking at the fireside. If the smoke green, food and cook here. And when you see a certain time come and the smoke get low,
Yeah,
go by your neighbor.
Time to go there.
Tell you one put up.
Yeah. But no, I mean, I've seen this, and as I reflect on it,
Mhm.
it is really one of the things that kept the community and why we are known the way we are known as, like a people. That why we could still talk about ancestors. That's why we could still talk about maroon. Yeah, because those things were there as roots for us to grow. And no, we've seen a change
Mhm.
in attitude,
Mhm.
but we know the value of togetherness.
But you see, and I could tell you from my own personal experience, it's hard to decipher how my father was the sole breadwinner. He was the one working for a salary, but my mother was at home, a provider in her own right. You know, boy, they could make a penny turn into $5. So when you see,
Stretch it.
yes, stretch it. So when my mother passed, and I realized we were left with a home with no mortgage and enough money in her savings to bury her and give something to her grandchildren, you know.
Mm.
So that way, one more and that way, independence. As my good friend in Belmont should say, or would say, she's a damn independent woman, because back then, when you have your green can meal, your dry can meal, and your cistern, you want nothing else in life. You want nobody else. You want to go for nobody to for anything else.
Yeah.
Understand? So that's what we know, and that's how we grew, and that made us who we are.
But the division has destroyed us.
Yes.
And that is one of the things that we're seeing happening today now,
Mhm.
because we're no longer that unified, people, we're sort of like pulling against one another, and that's not going to get us far,
No,
It's
no,
not
no,
gonna
no,
get us
no,
far.
no. We have to
come back,
somehow, we have to
go
keep
back.
on, yes, pounding at that, because it's doing us no good. How could somebody tell you that they actually care for you? And every time I go to Bel Air and I look at the hospital, and you know what they're able to do at the hospital, of course, you can't blame the nurses and doctors there, because if they're given 5-10 fingers and not even gloves, you can't even box. What you're able to do with it. So in 2025, after being in office for that long, you didn't see the need to improve on that institution that is going to help you when you're most vulnerable. Because when you're sick and you can't do for self, you're helpless. And that is when you actually need the help. You have no help. And this day in 2025, after all this thing, our medical institution or medical facilities in such poor state, it's going to take a bit of doing to get out of that. That is why now the talk in Karaku is, if you're sick and you go to Princess Royal, and God forbid they send you down in general,
Mm.
the next step is funeral, and then burial, and that's all. You understand what's happening? That's what it's saying, because sometimes a lot of things they could take care of here, and if given urgent attention, you might be able to save some situations. So, I don't know.
The sad thing is, boy, I'm hearing people talking about now. What you just said there a while ago. People in Carriacou here, when they get sick, are afraid to be sent down. Yeah, I mean, I get better. I will stay in Carriacou. I don't want to get better yet. Because I mean, I have heard several of my colleagues and friends talk about that, boy. Oh gosh, boy. Going down, once they say that you have to go down, you become uneasy. That alone killing you.
Yeah. So they say you're going down, you're going down.
You're going down. In truth and in fact.
You're going down.
So
you see, and but what is going to take to do that? And one of the things, granted, you see, medical service throughout the world quite expensive, especially in America, because there's a society that controls the medical situation in America, and then he hold their hand back when it comes to pricing stuff. A lot of stuff that we have to get from the States and what have you, they're extremely expensive, and they're expensive even for Americans. Some people have insurance policies that's going to cover them, but if you had to take it out of pocket, they'll get your supper. And so we here who under that system, things are not much cheaper. And I always said that, you see, in our general hospital, if we're going to teach people how to help themselves, there should be no, don't tell me you're too poor to contribute a copay for your health care.
Yeah.
Because how you're so poor and then your cell phone stand up big in your pocket. Huh? So we have to.
And the quality and the type of
Yeah.
cell phone, is
Yeah.
the most modern one.
But you know,
It's not those old things that we used to talk about in the past.
yeah,
You know, up to mark, up to
yeah, you have to be, yes. If it's
Yeah.
15, it's 15. iPhone 15, when you go to 16, you want a 16.
16. Yeah.
So but still, this thing, but if our politicians didn't give the impression that we're not charging you, you're entitled to free healthcare. What you're entitled to is to, well, mega care, not good. So you become still the victim because they tell you that, you're going to pay because I'm building political loyalty. But yet, because I don't pay and because the system is where it is, I am the one getting this substandard care. See? So, oh Lord, teach our people the right thing now.
Yeah.
But we need to try to get a way out of that. I don't want to call it norm because that's not normal. But we have to get out of that situation.
Well, I'm hopeful, because listening to the promise of Deacon Mitchell is saying that we're aiming at having at least one university graduate in every home in Grenada, because he understands that education is the way out of poverty. So you must indeed lay heavy emphasis on educating your youth and the people of your country. So don't tell me instead of you aiming at Imani and devotion, leave that. You must also think about something higher.
First generation.
And that's going to make a big difference.
What do you mean?
Because once you see you have one person in every family who is educated and earning a salary and able to pass on to the others, the level automatically rises.
Yes. Yeah.
From that, this what we call dependency syndrome.
Dependency syndrome.
I think the fact that we are now in a state and a place where we are having youth parliament sitting. As a matter of fact, it's sitting right now in Karaku here. And I'm saying when we expose our young people at that early age about how to debate stuff, how to research stuff and present stuff, that could create laws and so on. It is very, very, very important because going forward, we would need that kind of mindset. And we're talking about in every home we having a university graduate. I think all these things help build the future.
Yeah. You see, alongside the idea of having a university graduate, and it's becoming more and more obvious, and we must sometimes call a spade a spade. That is why I'm always clamoring for civics among our youth, because two words that is very absent from young people vocabulary these days is thank you,
And please too.
Thank you, but more importantly, you could ask somebody to do something for you, please. But anytime somebody take off their time and effort to do something for you or give you something, oh Lord, tell them, say thanks now.
Yeah.
Say thank you so they'll be encouraged to do it again. The thank you, it not necessarily pay for what you got, but it's a deposit. You just take it and you turn your back. No. Say thank you.
Sometimes you just grab it.
Yeah. All right.
That's what we have to instill in our
With those basics.
We grew up that way.
Yeah, man. I like the idea of all these things, algorithms and all these good things and all this IT and all this good thing and AI and very much so. But don't throw away the basics. Thank you, please. Yes, I appreciate that. You'll get again. Don't forget it.
All right.
And it's too absent nowadays.
Take a minute. Let me just try to open my line. Take a call. The Vibes FM. Caller.
Yeah, Kim, the same thing goes on in the state. They're giving them food stamps and all the government, all that stuff. They don't want to work no way. Depending on the government for that food stamp.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the same thing going up there.
Well, we gotta get out of that, yeah. As the caller just mentioned there, which is true, food stamps and all these other things.
Yeah, well, that is a
that is a way.
that is a way of buying loyalty,
Yeah.
So don't do it. I'll do it for you. And anytime you get out of hand, they withdraw it from you. So you're starved. That's how you're so sick.
Control.
Control mind and
You
body.
have to depend on me.
Mhm.
Yes, if not me, if it's not for me or depending on me, you can make it.
Yeah.
But we have to liberate people's mind and thinking and say, listen, now we can do it.
Mhm.
I mean, we have the ability to do it. I mean, from our past here, in terms of, we have the ability to do it. So let's do it now.
And this thing is at all level, and that brings to mind Minister Thomas, Delma Thomas, her experience. Don't take this money. Don't take this money.
Oh, I mean, for the constituency.
Yeah, don't take this this increase. Stay with your $1,200. In the meantime, you flush your menu. Your foot in grease and your hand in cooking oil. But you
Oh my goodness.
Your foot in grease and your
I'm
hand
in
cooking.
cooking oil.
so
you
and you all up there, but you're telling me I must suck salt. Don't accept this money. So if you don't accept this money and you're there with me, when time comes, if I pull this away from you,
yeah,
you're nobody.
fall down flat.
Mm-hmm. So
All right. But just a while ago, you mentioned about the youth parliament in progress. I mean,
Yes.
that's taking place today.
Yes.
I've just been trying to see if I could find it, to see if I could bring a piece of it live, but it don't seem as though, because it was supposed to be broadcast on GIS.
Yes, yes.
Facebook
I'm
page.
not seeing
But I'm not
myself.
seeing, maybe there's a late starter, maybe there's an issue, maybe that's stopping them from bringing it forward.
But I mean, we don't. I don't know what
Mhm.
is the hold up really, but it would be nice to share some of those things.
I wanted to, yeah, because the topic that's been discussed this morning, I think is very important. And the topic is, as you just mentioned, Carl, the revitalization
of Hillsborough.
of Hillsborough.
Yeah.
And this is something we have to look at right now, because we're
At
at
the
a
town center,
stage,
yes.
we're at a stage now where we can set that plateau in moving forward. And getting the youths involved in a debate like that, I think it's very, very good, because we have this morning supposed to have like at least 15 parliamentarians.
Okay.
And you should have seen the eagerness and the enthusiasm of them trying to pretend like it's a real parliament, not.
Yes.
Well, it's
But,
really no.
well,
It's,
yes,
a debate, yeah, go ahead.
it's
Yes.
real.
Yeah.
It's real.
But you see, if you start developing the skills from this age, from this stage, then the interest will remain, and we're going to find better parliamentarians there who would want to participate in building a country.
I see the
That's
point.
it.
You are looking at better parliamentarians. Those ones that we have now probably did not start from small.
No, they didn't. They were, most of them were sometimes, in some cases, inserted.
Yeah.
I use that word, a few times already. Just insert me and tell me you want me to be a caretaker. I never been involved in politics, never know anything at all. And then all of a sudden, I'm a representative and trying to do the job that I wasn't even trained to do. So if you have that interest as of now in participating and getting involved in the process, the possibility that at the end of the day, we're going to have much more real parliamentarians who have the interest
And the training and the
yes,
and the experience as well, because we need to
I wish I'd gotten the theme of the debate, and who for the proponents and the opponents. But when you stop to think about it, again, our ancestors, people who came here before us, and people on whose shoulders we stand, they understood the importance of Hillsborough, not only as a capital, but as a harbor.
Yeah.
I mean, the history of that little Hillsborough, if you read a little bit of it, you'll see the importance of Hillsborough. And who in the right mind will deprive Hillsborough of something that is just, it belongs to every capital city, a harbor. if a port of entry. Eh? Who deprived them of that? What's going through your head? What's going through your mind? Eh? And people who call themselves politicians and representatives will talk about it's a good idea.
What is a good idea?
Stick up here for a minute, guys. Hold on. We're going to go right. We'll go into that. Let me take a call there. Vibes FM, caller, you on? Caller, good morning. Caller, hello.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Yes.
Okay, I just want to turn my radio down.
Good morning.
Yes.
Good morning.
Yes, I was listening to you all talking, and I'm really enjoying it. Now, the first thing I want to respond to is Mr. Leo stated that people are not taught to help themselves. I'm just paraphrasing.
Yeah, okay.
Now the scripture says in Genesis that the herbs are for the healing of the nation, and it also says so in Ezekiel. The herbs are for the healing of the nation, and it also says so in the book of Revelation. But we drove so far away from that, we gave it up and give the responsibility to other people so that they can take care of us instead of us trying to take care of ourselves. Now that's I have something else that I would like to speak about. Now, we all know that people talk about how the minister, the prime minister was chosen. He's chosen by God. Now, the ones elected with him was also chosen by God. Now, I'm going to preface what I'm going to say with this. Miriam, which was Moses' sister, spoke up against Moses and saying, Moses, you think too highly of yourself. You're not the only one who can talk to God. I can talk to God also, which is what Miriam said, and the brother, which was Aaron, can talk to God also. Now, the Lord showed up right away and said to Miriam, Miriam, weren't you afraid to talk about my servant Moses? And she turned leper right away. Now, I see a few videos on the internet where they're shooting light rays at the prime minister, shooting light rays at the minister from Carriacou, and shooting light rays at the minister of education. Now, just to add, the minister of education is chosen twice. He was chosen by God because he's a teacher, and he was also chosen by the prime minister, who was also chosen. So the chosen of the chosen is chosen. So what I'm saying is that when you are taught God's people, God will fight against you. It's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living God. When Moses came down from seeing God, the people were afraid to go near him because his face was shining like the sun. The people said to Moses, you go and speak to God. We don't want to come close. You go speak to God. Whatever he tells you, we will listen. So what I'm saying is, people have to be very careful what they say to these people who are chosen, what they say about them, and they can't touch them. Otherwise, they will experience the wrath of God. This is a warning. God is a consuming fire. You attack, he's chosen. He will fight against you. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much for your contribution there. And we still have the lines open in case you want to participate. 443-0101 and 403-0101 458-1914. Let's continue, Salio, as you were just discussing there. And speaking about the development of the youth of today and how we're going to be moving forward with them at the helm, because they're the ones to take over, Listen, we are basically, I always say, we are passing through. It's a process. So we have to have a sort of a refill, filling those gaps as we move forward. And this is just about the time now for us to concentrate and encourage the younger ones who are the future of tomorrow to start getting involved in the process.
You and I, we button and out already, It's just that the game is finished yet. So,
All out. Oh, you out,
And if LBW, however, we out, we in the pavilion waiting for the game to finish. So, you're going back and battle.
I know it. Vibes FM caller. WhatsApp callers, hold on.
Hi, good morning.
Yes,
Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Yes.
Good
To my
morning.
radio friend, Uncle Leo, how are you going there, man?
Not a bad sweet, how you do? How are you?
I'm blessed, and so happy.
So, always good
Well,
to hear you.
before I start this morning, I just want to call out to these 10 David people. I don't see the young asking him to put to run with our Prime Minister. He could take care of this stuff. So don't interfere, just give the man a chance. You know, like I was growing up when your father watch you, know, get licked. and the next look, you know, if you are...
Caller, hold a second there. Has the caretaker has she been already installed or is talked about, you know? Hello? Caller? Is it confirmed that she's a caretaker?
Well, yes, because I heard they announced that, you know?
Okay.
And she was on news and everything. So I just want to say to the people of St. David, take it like this. The Prime Minister could handle that. You don't need no help,
But,
right?
you know, I must admit, I don't know who's the sacrificial lamb.
I don't know the lamb yet. It's good, you know, because even people in St. David don't know the lamb.
No, but she's connected to Carrico. As a matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, hold on. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's the late Winston Fleury son's wife. I think I was told, you know.
I don't know what I hear you see from St. David.
Yes, but
we people like to help out, so I just want to tell St. David people we Prime Minister able. When she stockings going down, just a look and she go able to pull it up. So let us deal with this young ass nice, right?
Yes.
And I just want to say, last week I think somebody accused, I think it was an ex-police or a police as thief. And a man called and he said that man could never be a thief because he lost his purse one day, he just get paid and all the money, so that purse was heavy. And that man get the purse and he give him his purse with all his money.
Yes.
So I just want to say to that man, sometimes the man didn't enter into that man yet. When a man don't enter in you and if you righteous body, you do right, you talk right, you think right, you do everything you do. So sometimes that man have an experience of honesty with the same man. But if you go and you read Romans chapter 7 from verse 19 to 22, then you will realize that man, a man enter into him now. So he think different, he do different things. So he must not, accuse because you made the man when he was in a right mind. And then the next man is him when a man there in him now. And he gets a different treatment. So by saying this man will do that, no, just wait the thing, no man. And then you go see what's going on with that man. I don't want to stay long because I know some people who dress especially they do stay too long. So next time, later on I'll call back and
come back.
All right. Okay, thank you so much.
Darling. Yes. So have a good day.
Okay, bye-bye. Okay, WhatsApp caller coming. You've been waiting. Thank you for waiting. WhatsApp caller coming.
Good morning. How are you?
Okay, not bad. And how are you doing?
It's a long time I haven't called in, but I'm listening every day.
I know that. And we miss you in the studio too, eh? You remember the last time you were here?
Yeah.
Right.
Except the 2 times you allow Anne-Marie to call in, I had to turn down my volume. I don't want to give us too much effort.
We're good, yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I called in because I was triggered by what Sir Leo said this morning. Good morning, Mr. Leo.
Good morning, sir. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah. Triggered by what he said in the beginning when the show started, where he spoke about Gary and Blaze, and Gary saying that he's not going to do anything for Carrico to go to soft salt. I want to put forward a little argument. Gary did something good for Carrico.
Not only Carrico, for the state, not just Carrico.
Listen to what he did for Carrico.
Tell us.
Gary made Carrico open air prison for Grenadians. any public servant that did anything wrong
Punishment.
or you don't like, punishment, you transfer to Carrico.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he made it an open air prison, and by doing so, he was able, Carrico was able to retain most of the culture because the influx of other people into Grenada was changing the culture. People getting more modernized. Carrico was able to keep it because they were the open air prison. And then you say, so that's the thing what Gary did for Carrico. He did that good thing. Even though he punished the people of Carrico, you are able to keep that culture with you. Your big drum, your hill and toe, all the different cultures you have, you're able to keep that. And then the so-called other one came where he says was, well, people say his political son came, and he perpetuated that. He kept it as that open air prison. And then he added something to it. He added color where he divided.
Right.
Those are the things that these two people did for Carrico to make sure Carrico retain their culture and retain their what everybody see now as that gem that everybody's flocking to. Right? That if people that never been to Carrico that live in Grenada come across.
Yep, that's correct.
So that's what Leo triggered in me this morning. And I thought about him. Gary did do something good for Carrico. He kept the culture.
Okay. Give thanks.
And the other thing I was supposed to address too, because so many for so long I haven't called Senator Cox. Senator Cox, I don't think he loves Carrico. I don't think he loves Carrico because from my observation of him, I started to pay attention to him when that issue come up about the $140,000 US. And the way he explained it, that the money may not have gone into an account that he had control over. And he pushed another man under the bus and said, well, maybe the other previous representative had control of that account. And the things he's going, I heard him at GBN so many times. I visited Carrico recently in the last three years twice, and things I saw with my own eyes. I hearing this man saying things about Carrico. I say he cannot love Carrico. He cannot love Carrico, and I don't know what else they'll do with him because they can't put him anywhere else in any other constituency except for Carrico. But Cox, I want to just maybe say something to him. I'm not your Obia man, so what I'm going to say is maybe a premonition. For Cox, Nolan Cox, he will always be selected. He will never be elected. There's no way for him to run.
Yeah. Okay.
Another little quick question. MTV, is that a NNP pro station? MTV News?
Well, I'm not sure, but based on the content and what's coming out from it, one is inclined to believe that.
Recently, I noticed you had Tobias Clement on, and I used to ask a question myself. Whenever something controversial comes up, it seems like only MTV could find Tobias Clement. There's no other person looking for him but MTV. Him and the other one, is the political driftwood from Munich up there.
Yeah.
Michael Baptist.
Yeah. Right.
Anyway,
yeah, okay,
I will come back again
as
I'm off today, so I'm fully available to make calls. I'll come again.
All right.
But Leo,
yes, thank you, sir. How are you doing?
Remember,
good man.
Gary, keep the culture going.
Yes, a nice title for Michael, but he said Driftwood. I never thought it'd be that way, but it's pertinent.
Yeah, he's to me, he's just Michael Baptist is a GULP Gary historian, nothing else. Yes. All you know, anything you bring in any modern time, you're going to equate it back to something with Gary and what Gary did. And like that is only his political sphere is just around Gary and nothing else. Anything you bring to him is Gary.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Anyway,
Okay, caller.
Take care.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm listening and I will come in again and again.
All
Okay.
right. Thank you so much.
you.
Okay.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too now. Yeah,
Okay.
okay. Bye. Okay. Okay, the lines are still open, 4430101 and 4030101. Koi, you were trying to ask a question just before this caller came in there, about the representative from St. David's. Did you?
Yes. And you're wondering.
I have the name now.
Yeah, well,
they just send the name for me.
yes. Okay. Right. I think I got in them.
Yolande Smith. Let me see. Let me see if I have it right.
And you said she has Carriacou roots, so
Well, what I was told is that she is the son. I mean, she's the wife of the late. She's the wife of the son of the late Winston Fleury.
Winston Fleury's daughter-in-law. Okay,
Right. Yeah.
but
And she was with the NMP for a while, but I mean, that's what I understand. She was with the party before when they won the last election. The last time she was heavily involved.
has always been.
well, I would say that is not poor lady, but that is a seat NNP know they could afford to lose.
Oh yes, so just put anybody.
Put
there.
anybody there. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So she replaces Oliver.
Yeah. That's what
She replaces Oliver.
she's the caretaker now. Yeah. As you heard the caller say that she was, in the news or something of the nature,
Yeah.
representing them. But I mean, like Solid, like you say, is a seat they could afford to lose.
They don't put any good
No,
value to
it makes sense.
candidate of value, also a personal value usually because he's going to be suicide. Well, not suicide, but
Sometimes
homicide.
I wonder, any normal thinking person, unless they have some sort of, what word should I use?
Agenda.
Well, something on the agenda, thinking that there might be something along the line,
Mhm.
that you might be able to benefit from, because that has been the process for a while. But we think about coming up, especially against our prime minister in his constituency,
Mhm.
and not only that there too, but the way this government is performing now,
Mhm.
I mean, it should scare anybody. I don't care who you is. Even the new leader of the opposition, you could see the fright and all this scare, this in them because they realize that the uphill battle is a real stiff uphill battle.
No, they're not carrying water in basket. It's a loud secret. We ain't getting nowhere, but still have to try. We still have to pretend that we're there. But we ain't getting nowhere. People eyes are opening, and they realize that we've been given the shitty end of the stick for a very long time, and it's about time we start straightening up. How is it that you could tell me? And sometimes I laugh at my Caraquans, But don't you see the difference? Those who are living here, tell me what I mean, what are you saying about the previous administration where Carriacou is concerned? Don't you see that we were in the boondocks there, nothing happening to us, getting nothing, going nowhere? And now that, can't you see the difference? Something is wrong with you. If you can see the difference, then and now something is wrong with you.
Well, I believe they've seen the difference, but just sometimes through maybe embarrassment, sometimes they don't want to admit, or maybe acknowledge the difference. So they putting up a sort of a defense or false face.
Even those who are getting a little subvention, under the table, of course, you would get a lot more, if you put your finances in the hands of people who are concerned about the state, and you'll get a lot more. So that what you're getting there, and somebody telling you, anything I'll do for you, and you're foolish enough to believe that. Well, you. Yes, you want anything.
Somebody saying that the candidate that putting up against our PM, is child abuse.
Well said. Well said. Yes, well said. Child abuse. Yes.
Child abuse.
Lock them up for that.
But even in Karaku here, I don't know if you've been following some of the what's in the news and going around Facebook and things like that. That there's a possibility of Cox not running. Well, it might be another Cox, but not. They have so much Cox now. Yet.
Yeah.
It might be a different Cox. I don't. Do you hear it yet?
Not yet. Another Cox?
Yes, another Cox. Yeah.
I find them playing around that X and Y.
No, I will. Well,
too much now. Because, next thing people might make a mistake and instead of saying the X, they put the Y. So I just say, what people playing around that?
What?
Yeah. I thought I sent you that
piece. No.
That piece. Yeah. There's another Cox that has been rumored. I'm not saying it's true yet, but based on the information we've been getting and what I've been hearing, it seems as though that the possibility exists that it could be a Cox, but not this present Cox.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, more child abuse. That's all I could tell you. It's only people abuse.
Vibes FM. Vibes FM, call come in. Yes, morning, yes.
Yeah, good morning, compare Kim.
Yes, man. Compare.
Yes.
Compare.
Yes, compare. As we say in Pilimantico Pie. Yes.
Oh, compare. Okay.
All right, okay.
Yeah, it's a nice day.
Have
a good before I say more, have a happy Easter weekend and kite flying. All you take all your time and don't fly the kite by the wire, please.
Okay, we remember that. Okay.
Yeah.
Advice sticker.
Advice sticker. Yeah, don't fly the kite by the lines, the electric lines. Yeah. What I want to say this morning is I'll be brief. The Karaku people that I know, and they say that they all are better on the same horse. I hope they reach back to that stage, because when you're better on that the horse, you win.
Yeah.
Everybody win on that horse.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So why go on better on another horse that is definitely losing? You have to bet on the winning horse. You want to stay alive. And you want your island to prosper and to move on. You have to bet on the winning horse. All right, that's one. The other thing is, you all been talking about the past and the fire, begging your neighbor, getting a piece of fire stick from your neighbor to light your fire if you do your thing. And that brings back memory. It jogged my memory way back, man. Also, your neighbor bananas on the tree was yours too.
Yes. Oh, you mean?
All you have to do is just tell him, neighbor, take a hand in your bunch.
On the bunch, yes.
Yeah, you just have to let them know it's you that take it, that's all. If you have cooking and you're there and you want a Hana banana or a Hana blogger, young blogger or whatever,
you take it.
You tell them when they come. I take a hand in the banana. Yeah, I remember those days. Well, I grew up in a fishing village. So we used to make fish broth from time to time. Me and my partner, we used to go and raise the father fish pot. Not steal it, is the father own. We go and take fish, clean the fish, cook it. And sometimes we have nothing extra to put in it. We go on and if we and his father landing and we go by me or some neighbor and get some bananas and make cook and young blogger and make we broth.
Yes.
Sometimes we not. It was 30 cents a pound for Irish potato. So if we could put together and get 30 cents, we have Irish potato. But we always have flour because we used to buy the flour by the bag.
Okay.
I think it was $10, $15 a bag, something like that. But back then, the thing was cheap.
Right.
Although expensive for the people at the time, but it was still cheap compared to now. Yeah. So you just jog my mind right back to those days, man. And water. The goblet, man. The goblet was the fridge.
Yes, in the cooler.
Goblet on the cooler window.
Yeah,
it was the fridge. Then you get your cold water, your nice
cool water.
Cool water. Make sure.
Yeah, the goblet on the fridge. Especially if a lot of dew fall the night.
Yes. That's it.
Cold of the water.
Cold water.
Cold of the water. All right.
Okay.
One more thing before I go. Mr. Humble himself, the humble man. You know who's the humble man?
No,
Yeah, not the boss. You know, he's a servant. He's a servant, not a boss.
okay.
Humble
Right. Yeah.
man.
Okay.
I just saw a video with him that my daughter in Canada sent me. He's saying when you see like how he could walk the street. No, he didn't want to stop doing that. He want to be able to do that at all times.
Yeah.
Walk the street, be among his people just like that at all times. Yeah, you know, sometimes when you go, you can't tell who's the bodyguard and who's the prime minister.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
you can't tell the difference.
Right.
But I know a certain man when he used to go, he used to have how much SSU with guns around him and all of that.
Yep. That's true. That's so
he
true.
He said he wanted to be like that all the time. Even after he leave office, he wanted to be able to walk among the people.
Yeah.
Just as how he doing it now.
Right.
Very humble.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Very humble young man. Very humble young man.
That's nice. Yeah.
And you know, what I think had happened is that something get to my man head that he was the boss. And we were his servants. But it's total opposite. We are the boss. And he's the servant.
Yeah, but
his ministers and his cabinet.
Yeah, no, but they don't remember that. You see, once you elect them and you put them inside of there, that's it.
But what they feel is that we had the power to hire and fire. So he got fired and he even realized he was getting fired.
That's it.
Too much fire.
But that's it.
You remember his first words after he come back and speak in public? That really hurt. It hurt. That fire he get, that dismissal he get was really hurt. It really hurt.
Burn him like crazy, man. You're right.
Anyway, I'm listening.
Okay.
So keep the program, keep up the good program.
All right.
It's a very good program.
Thank you.
Everybody could give their voices. Let their voices too.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, and you take care, man. Bye-bye.
Okay.
All the best.
Have a blessed Easter weekend, yeah.
You too. Thank you. Okay, bye. Next, landline caller, thank you for waiting. Come in.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Yes.
Good morning to all my colleagues and especially my ambassador, Soliu.
Thank you. Good morning.
Yes. I enjoying the program. Your program always a good program. But what we must realize that we as a people need to stick together. If we stick together, we'll get things done. But if we divided, our people united will be always strong. But if we are divided, what will happen? So we have to come together and do what is required of every one of us. We have a good leader with a community spirit. And if we want to build our community, we have to be together. So my friends in Carriacou, I want you to stick together and change Carriacou back to the way it used to be, where everyone depends on each one. Have a good day.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you.
Next WhatsApp caller, come in. WhatsApp caller, thank you for waiting. Come in. You're next.
Yes. Good afternoon. Good morning, guys.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Yeah. Kim.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. The new caretaker for St. David's. I don't think she has roots in Carriacou.
No.
No, well, that's established.
Because her husband's surname is Thompson from Grenans.
But she's Karen Smith. Let me
No,
see.
Thompson.
Smith, Yolanda Smith.
Yolanda Smith is what I'm seeing here. I don't know if that's correct, but that's what I'm seeing here.
For St. David's?
Yes.
She used to be the representative at our Washington office under NNP.
No, not this current, not this girl, not she, no.
Oh. That's not the same person you're talking about?
No.
Okay.
She used to be in Washington.
But what name are you hearing that she's Is a caretaker.
I was listening to GBN
Uh-huh.
on the opposition leader said her name is something Thompson. Nolan.
Yulan.
Not. I think it's Yolan. No,
Well,
not Yolan. No.
probably speaking about two different persons. Real and true.
Yeah, but she's the caretaker for St. David's.
And the name
And
is.
she might be the similar age with the prime minister as well. Yeah.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I feel sorry for her.
Mm-hmm. You're not by yourself. No. We all in sympathy with her.
Yes.
Well, I'm in sympathy with her as well too. The beating she's gonna get. But someone just messaged me and said to me that she believes. Hold on. She believes that the NNP is going to win the next election, so she don't mind taking a beating, and maybe at the end of the day, she might benefit. I mean, she's dreaming, you know. That's a dream. That's a dream. That's a dream. Whoever is saying that now is doing a stand up.
Also, Brother Leo.
Yes, sir.
Did Uncle Gary did nothing for Caracol?
If he did nothing for Caracol,
Think.
Well, let me see, boy. Let me see. I don't know.
You got to think so long.
Well,
I mean, that's how much you did. You had to think so long.
Yes, I'm trying to find something. The color is jogging me.
Something very, very important, precious, because you know what I mean.
Well, as a matter of fact, not Carrick. I would say that back in the 50s when Gary just came on the scene, he did pick up a lot of young and not but poor people. He did do a lot of good for them in the sense that he organized them as laborers and were able to get something more beneficial to them than they were getting in the past. So that in itself was quite good. But
no, wasn't that?
Wasn't that? Well, let me
you know, once you know drought in Caracol.
Yeah, what?
What?
And there was a dry season in Caracol. And the cow wasn't eating the grass, the brown grass.
Oh, game shades.
In the eye. Yeah.
Okay, that's okay. Give me duckers. Yes.
And then eat it because the color change.
That's what Jesus said.
Yeah. That was just old talk.
Okay. So we take it back, yeah.
But I mean, just the essence of it, you know, you put in shades in a cow so that they can see the grass differently.
Yeah.
They see green,
So thanks for your contribution, you know. Okay. And Kim,
somebody, yeah.
What?
Now somebody just messaged me again as the topic, the name came up, you know, and they said they could confirm that her name is Yolande Smith, and she was the lady that was based in Washington.
Yeah, Washington.
In the NNP, yeah. And when she came over before to replace Oliver, but his response to her was, "Go back where you come from." Go back where you come from.
That's good advice.
But Kim.
Yeah.
The lady that came in election time to replace Oliver, she was a lawyer from America. In truth, she meant to be. She was a lawyer. This one now is not a lawyer.
Well, I don't know. We don't know much about her yet. So
the one that came to what did this call it?
One?
The one that came to replace Oliver was a lawyer.
Which one was that now?
Yeah, from America.
I am not. My memory don't recall.
No, it doesn't seem as though. It doesn't seem as.
I think this one name was something like Gosling. I think.
No.
No.
The one before.
No. I'm not aware of that. No, I can't.
Let me make a call.
Okay.
Okay, you could do that.
All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Oh, let me take another call. They valued that. 4430101. Next caller. Landline caller coming.
Oh, hello. Good morning. Good morning to you all.
Yes. Good morning.
Good morning.
Nice to hear Mr. Joseph's voice. Yes, I was just thinking. Apparently, Uncle Gary did the botanical gardens.
Okay.
Yes. Apparently, he was very keen on keeping it nice and clean and everything else.
Yes.
I remember as a school child going down to the botanical gardens, and it had a lot of plants and so on. Apparently, Uncle Gary did that.
Yes, big on botany. That is true. That is true. He was
Gotta give him that.
a tasteful guy, you know.
Yeah.
From his attire and everything else.
Yeah. Smart guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
You have a blessed day.
Okay,
Thank you. You
thank
too.
you
You too.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Next caller, waiting there on the WhatsApp. Caller, come in. Caller. Hello. Are you hearing me, caller? All right. Okay. Seems that we are having a little bit of an issue with that caller, so we're going to continue. Yeah, but there's a lot of speculation now going on as to she's going to be running the same Yolan Smith, and she's going to get such a beating that they wonder if she have back to take it.
There was a calypso one time. Well, what prompted this lady to think that she could be successful against Nicole Mitchell? There is a calypso one time that says, "Let the damn fool feel." A dwarf want to feel is 10 foot tall. You remember the calypso?
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, and in a way, they have a right to feel how they feel. You know.
Entitled to opinion. Go ahead.
Yes.
I can't fight her for that. But Kim, I'm thinking as part of a school curriculum, you have guys like Bamboo. You know Bamboo is? So those guys are so skilled at making fish pots.
Yeah.
Something that should belong, home. I mean, teach somebody to make a fish pot and let they learn this way you could fish. You don't have to be out there and set a little fish pot and monitor it. There is fish right here in Hillsborough. You ought to go to the channel,
No, right in the harbor.
Get a little snapper and a little, we could, you don't only have to plant corn and wait for corn to grow, you're getting fish too. Mind your animals and all those good things. I'd like to see the art of making a fish pot, putting them out and so on.
But as you just mentioned that, I remember, growing up, and speaking with the elders,
Yeah.
And I watched them design the fish pot. The mouth of it is what is important.
Yes,
that's
it. Yes.
Because
it's only when I get a little bit older, I really understand what they were really doing. All I know, it had to be done this way.
Yes.
And that's the way they were doing it. But I didn't understand the logics in them doing it in that way. And how when the fish gets in, the fish don't get out.
Yes. Fish pot is 10 and 12 dollars a pound.
Yeah.
So instead, you could hold your own fish, You could catch your own fish and you don't have to go to the ocean. In between Jacka Dam, Sandy Island, Paradise, you could set a fish pot anywhere there. And you have fish for you and family.
And this is some of the things that we need to to bring into the schools.
Yes, teach
the curriculum.
A youngster how to make a fish pot.
This thing should be taught, because with all the water we have around us,
precisely, you have to use what you have to get what you want.
Right.
Karaku is more ocean and land. So teach them how to make fish pot. I mean, teach. Oh boy.
Well, I think that's part of the whole thrust. I think they have a program for people, youngsters actually who going into the sea, like fishing boats and so on and so forth. So I'm saying that will come in as part of the overall package, because if you're learning things in that area, making a fish pot, it might not be the same way in which it used to be done, but at least that will come in as part of the whole process. And talking about the fish pot, once the fish go in, you can't come out.
Yeah.
And they have this skill to just make them go in. And when you think they come back out,
no,
because it's some kind of pot, you go in.
Yes. So yeah, man, those things. But some things too, sometimes. I look at the little Chinese ladies, and no, I'm not giving tasks to anybody because of the gender. But sometimes I see some of the things that ladies in other communities do. Now, if Karaku is Japan or China, many ladies have been catching the fish in the fish pot every morning.
Yeah.
So you don't have to be just, so,
Right, yeah.
do your thing and to make yourself self-sufficient. And when you're able to feed yourself, nobody can ask you any question. They can tell you anything.
All right, let me remind our listeners again, 443-0101, 443-0101, 403-0101, and 458-1914, 458-1914. We're still trying to see if I could pull that up for us on the debate.
Yes.
But apparently, I'm not being able to call. I don't know if you are.
I'm trying to follow myself. I
just can't find it. But the reason why I'm saying that is because I think it's so important that this discussion takes place now, and with what has just transpired with Beryl and destroying the tongue, and maybe, well, I should say for the good. We are a milestone now where we'll be able to rebrand Hillsborough.
There's a yearning, for we're talking about. We can just say build back better, but it has to be so very important to us.
Yeah.
You see, right in that market area, you look at the drains that are there.
Yeah.
The things are so broken up, and we must come out to that, man.
No, we need to go to the drawing board now and put that plan together and start executing the plan. It won't be done in a year or two, maybe, but at least if you're working with a plan, at the end when you complete, it's going to be something that you would be able to use and utilize properly.
Yeah, because we're talking about sometimes not only about tourism, even if not the bigger cruise ships, but the smaller ones, BDM, Club Med, and those type boats. When they come here, when you come ashore, you must feel that you've arrived somewhere.
Right.
And you can be like cousin Nella Deroche in Petit Martinique. Nella say, when she come back, she visited after a number of years. And she came late at night and she went straight up in Petit Martinique, and she thought Petit Martinique was so dead. So, but they told her, don't worry, man, Monday we're going in town, you go see the difference. Let's see when she got to town. She wait, no, we reach, yes. Wait on there. She said, this is town. So we have to get away from that. We need to improve, man, come up with the times. And have souvenir shops and
hold on a minute. Vibes FM, landline caller coming. WhatsApp callers, hold on. Well, landline caller first.
Good morning again.
Yes.
Yes, I have a legal problem this time. When the U.S. Embassy came up to Carico to renew passport, I renewed my passport. And I received my passport about 3 weeks later. When I got home, I locked my passport in a cabinet that I don't usually use, and I hid the key. Now, a couple of days ago, either yesterday or the day before, I went to check to make sure it's there because a lot of horrible things have been happening to me. So I want to check up on the passport. When I open it up, the page with my face on it looks like there's a lot of lines going through it and dots on it. And the second page is in black and white. Now, someone said that's how it comes, the second page. But I don't know. I've never seen a U.S. passport with the second page black and white. And then what's even worse, my photo is on the bottom of the eagle. But I can't see my face. The only thing you can see is my hair and my blouse, which is black. My hair black and the blouse, well, the page is in black and white, so the blouse is showing black. But I can't see anything else on that page. So someone either came into my house, took my right passport and leave this photo on there, or they altered the photos on the passport. And I called the United States, and I explained what happened. They said, call the embassy. I called the embassy. I believe I left a message. When I was finished with the message, the phone was already hung up, so I'm not even sure. And then I also sent an email, and I haven't gotten a response from the email yet. So right now, this passport I have here, if I try to travel outside of the country with this, they're not going to take this passport because clearly, my face under the eagle, you can't tell who's there.
Mm-hmm. But what I would advise the caller, have you tried to reach the New York embassy, or not really embassy, but the compound in True Blue down in Grenada? You tried?
Well, they have given us a hand of series of numbers on it, and that's the number I called. When we went to get the passport, they gave us a handout of what we need and everything, and they gave us they have on it a few websites, and so that's the number I called. They have on the handout. I'm not sure if it's True Blue or.
But hold on. But you know they come to Carriacou so often, right? Because they were in Carriacou not too long ago.
Yes. And in February, I think they were there towards the end of February. That's when I renewed my passport.
Okay.
And I received it like 3 weeks later. I think maybe like the third week in March or before. And so I don't have the passport. I don't have this new passport. I didn't have it long.
Right.
And I know what I've been experiencing here. So that's why I locked it away and I hid the key so I don't have to go back and forth to check on it. But a couple of days I just decided, let me just make sure everything is okay. And I was wondering if it was there, because when I first opened it, it just seemed like the cabinet was empty, but it was there. I pulled it out and I opened it up, and this is what I found. And now, this is not how I received my passport, because if I had received my passport this way, I would have questioned it. I can't see the face under the eagle. You can't tell who's there.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no way this is real.
Okay, without
And you
advice.
said there's a True Blue in Grenada. There's a different place besides the embassy. Is what you're saying? Oh no.
Well, I know they're located down there. I'm not sure the exact address, but I know I speak with them on a regular basis. I speak to some of the personnel there, and I know them. So if you need some assistance, I might be able to help you.
Oh, thank you very much. I'd like to know what would be, what do I need to do with this passport here? I sent them a picture, but I didn't take a full picture because it's difficult to take. All the information is on there. So I had to try to maneuver to send them, to send the picture.
Well,
so
what?
I don't know.
Well,
what can you do to me?
Well, what I could possibly do whenever you come to town, pass and look for me, and I'll take maybe a snapshot of it, and I'll contact them, and I'm sure whenever I get in touch with them, they respond almost immediately, and you'll be able to get some assistance again, because whenever they come to Carriacou too, I'm the one that would give them some sort of airplay and some exposure to let the people know in Carriacou that they are here, and if they need the service. So I have a little bit of a contact with them, so I might be able to help you. But you need a passport because you don't know when you're going to need it. I mean, you couldn't travel to any country based on what you're saying with a passport in that condition. They're not going to let you in.
Yes. So I'm very happy to hear this. I'm very happy to hear that you might be able to help.
Yes. I'll try my best.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Okay. Bye now. Let me take another call, gentlemen, before we even move further. Vibes FM caller, come in. Caller.
Good day, sir.
Yes. Hello. Yes.
The U.S. embassy not in True, it's in Lansapin.
Lansapin, right? Yes. Your Lansapin. Well, she's listening. Yeah. But I speak to them on a regular basis. But Lansapin, that's what they're looking for. Never been there, but I heard of it though.
All right.
Yes. Okay. Well, thank you so much there. Okay, so the caller Lansapins, no problem at all. We'll be able to assist in that respect. Okay?
Two things, Kim. One, the first one, the youth parliament that's supposed to be taking place is taking place, but they're having some technical difficulties to
streaming.
Stream it, yes. But it started about around almost on time. That is one. Two, similar though we have the name of the person we're talking about for St. David wrong. I don't know. I was just drawn to the.
Let me ask you to just hold a second, please, because you just mentioned that.
Huh.
Well, let's just take it up for a little while, gentlemen, as you realize that we're trying to bring the youth parliament session that's taking place right now in the Hillsborough, at the Hillsborough Government School. What we're having a little bit of an issue with our audio, especially when it comes around Facebook and on YouTube, and they are sort of like left in the darkness. They're looking at just the photos. But as you realize, though, that there's a very intense debate going on right now. They are being trained or they are practicing to be parliamentarians.
Yeah,
They,
actually.
they are parliamentarians, right?
Because yes, because the youth parliament is something that is legal now. And they had, yeah, I guess they're having the opportunity to practice what they have been seeing.
Right, yeah. And it's very important, like we were saying before, starting off at this stage, grooming them to become parliamentarians. So when they get out there in the future, if they so choose to be a parliamentarian, it would be not something that would be new to them. It would be something that they sort of trained into or used to, and that is, I think that is very important.
But I don't know why. At not one time we used to have, I don't know, Leo or Kim, your involvement in that. But at one time we used to have public speaking as
And
part,
debate.
and debate as part of the curriculum. I mean, you are trained how to communicate with effectiveness, not just calling words. I mean, you have to train in that. And so I'm saying that being part of the school system should help them to not just to we see happening in our own parliament, all kinds of things to get in place. And we are not like that to be continued in the way in which it is now. And our young people should not be guided by that. They should be guided by the proper procedures. So I would like to think that things like public speaking should certainly be a feature in the learning experience.
Yeah, well, as you just mentioned, before that, Solio, you might recall, we used to have a lot of the debates among the primary schools.
Yes.
And it was a way of developing our skills when it comes to public speaking and even, in debates. So but that sort of dropped off for a long time.
That's why I'm questioning our curriculum in today's
civics.
Yeah. How you articulating that, have you're speaking, your grammar and all those good things. And I think if you're adept with those things, your grammar and your public speaking and so on and so forth, once you learn the operations of government and parliament, it will be a shoe-in for you. So as my colleague quite rightly said, because there is nothing what's going on in our parliament today like to emulate.
Yeah.
Read back and this market square, this fish house, that's what's going on sometimes with some of the parliamentarians there, and they're allowed to get away.
But you believe that is because of lack of training, lack of discipline?
Lack of training.
Lack of respect.
No, I don't think training is really what we're to say. I mean, they know what to do. They could do it. They have done it before. It's not a case where the new one is like novices and they don't know what to do, how to do it. These guys have been there for a while, and beside that, getting into parliament, you are given an orientation. What you could do and what you should do and should not do, kind of thing. So I don't understand how.
But one thing I would like to just make a comment on that. I don't know. I'm just asking to maybe you might want to talk about it though. But I noticed that in our parliament in particular, many of the parliamentarians use it as a way to local term to throw word.
Settle scores.
Well, in
settle scores.
In parliament, you could say anything and you would not be held accountable.
Yeah, but I'm saying.
So I'm saying that they use the opportunity. If you want to tell you are black, you could say it, and without the expectation of any kind of.
But how is that really doing the people's business?
Well, you have to be free. You have to give them some certain free way to debate and ask questions and go into things generally. But that's how it works. You don't only know. People, anything you say in parliament, nobody could take you to court for that.
Well, we understand that. But I'm just saying that the whole idea of making sure that you take care of the business of the people.
Well, that's
what does that have to do with telling me my head black or my hair gray or whatever? What does that have to do? They use the opportunity.
Yeah, they use it
to melee
and to score some cheap political points here.
Well, I don't know if they're really scoring points when they're doing that. In my view.
Well,
I don't think really
if by what you say and how you say it can influence someone.
So, are you telling me that Parliament absorbs slandering and all those good things?
I
those things?
I would say they absorb it. I would say that you can say things without having to face the consequences of it in Parliament. Yeah. That's why I find most times people go and say, okay, I think you think educated people should be behaving in that way because they know that there's a immunity kind of thing, protection. In Parliament, you are so.
That's what I'm trying to find out. If in Parliament could immune you from saying just about anything, I hope not.
No. I mean, it's not about saying anything. But if you say anything, you will not be held accountable.
But I'm telling you though, I like the idea of what's going on right now, and I think we should try to see if we could develop that and continue with it. To make sure that we are ready for the future. We have people there who would be interested, because if you realize that what they would have to do in order to be a parliamentarian, they have to go out there and campaign.
I must confess to myself, as far as the format is concerned, and the procedure, and in Parliament in particular, I wonder who is looking over that, because I could see a little. Well, of course, they're learning, but is there any guidelines that they have to follow, or any procedure they have to follow in order to make them competent?
Well, they were trained and they were given rules and way how the procedure goes. So I think you would find like this is just like maybe like one of the first sessions in Garrico.
Okay.
But as time goes on, when we have more of that taking place, then you'll find that the skills will be much better, and they would understand procedures, and it's a learning process. Let me take a call. Vibes FM caller coming.
Good morning, Kim.
Yeah, hello, yes, yeah.
Morning, Mr. Leo. Kai,
Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, afternoon.
All right, you're right. Afternoon.
Yeah. Kim.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to disagree with you that you saying that this youth parliament is important. It's to me it's not, because think about it. How many parliamentarians that we have in our country? 15 in the lower house. How much in the upper house? 10?
12, I think.
12. Yeah. 12. All right. So that's 15 and 12, 27. 27 jobs are being in parliament creates 27. Right? Is there a profession called a parliamentarian?
A career.
And how many parliamentarians in parliament now went to school or to be a parliamentarian? To me, we're glorifying the wrong set of things. And it's not, they're not doing anything wrong. But what I'm saying is things for us to showcase and glorify. For instance, are we showcasing welders or carpenters or, trades? Do we have that on TV, showcasing it? Yes?
Yeah.
I understand that it will help. Forums like that will help you with public speaking, whatever. You could have that in school, as the guy said earlier, right? As part of the curriculum. But to glorify it and put that importance to it, to me, it's not. To me, it's overstated.
Well, what I'm looking at though is that once you start doing things of the nature, it gives the participants, and not only participants but people around them, to the idea or the way the system's supposed to run, how it's the procedures and everything like that.
Well, the education system should take care of all of that. Teach you about our political system, our parliamentary system. I mean, if you want to model or teach youth about our system, how we operate now is it's the worst because we have so much division, so much. You listen parliament, you're not even getting any substance. It's just melee back and forth, word throwing back and forth. What are we teaching our kids?
Right.
If you want to teach them to have a constructive conversation, the parliament as it is now is the worst way to look. The worst place to find it.
That bad.
So what is it that we're doing? What is it that we're trying to accomplish?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're trying to advertise 15, 27 jobs out of 150,000 people.
Okay. Well, the point you're making, I understand what you're saying, but what we have lacked in the education system is public speaking in particular, and debates and procedures. So maybe we used to have that back in those days. We used to have it.
Yeah, well, let me make a point, because I went to I have two kids, two sons, right? And I went just before during the COVID, to a English teacher in Carriacou. I called and I said, look, one of our weaknesses in Carriacou, especially for kids, our ability to public speak. Because I went through it. I went through it. I overcame it. Yeah. So I'm saying, okay, it's a weakness for us in Carriacou. Not that you don't have the brains, but the confidence to get up and speak and articulate yourself. It's a weakness. Yeah?
Yeah.
So why can't we incorporate that into the curriculum? As I said, I pay for my kids to have public speaking classes every Saturday.
Yeah.
So I understand and I recognize the shortcomings of us in Carriacou when it comes to that. Yeah?
Right.
But my point is, why are we glorifying something that is basically minimal?
Okay. Well,
Colin,
yeah.
Colin, let me just ask a question. I'm just trying to, as the parliamentarians will say, for clarity. But no, seriously, what would you suggest as a replacement for Parliament, where the people's business can be discussed by those who we elect and appoint to be in various positions?
Well, how should I answer that question? Well, it's Parliament. The people make up Parliament, you know. So if we don't have people that could have productive discussions, productive debate as pertains to the people's business, then what do you have? It comes down to who we elect.
Yeah. Okay.
So who we elect is important, because to me politics in our part of the world is a popularity contest.
Because
yeah,
I hear you.
So what we could change is in the campaigning phase. You need to have like in the States, you have debates. You have public debates. Yeah.
Right.
And then stress the importance of you articulating your point in a organized, like I do have in an organized and intellectual manner, and let the people decide from there.
See,
but to promote and then to promote politics again now is politics divide us and campaign, it divides us. So what are we promoting?
See, Kola, I see where you're coming from, and I would submit that it's all right to learn parliamentary procedures, but learning
that could be done in school.
Precisely. And again, advocating public speaking so youngsters will gain some confidence. There's a lot of brilliant children that they're share. They wouldn't say anything because, and that in a sense is a way of keeping good ideas in a closet. And you see, a lot of our children, as I've said many a times before, your officials, be it elected or selected, they deserve full respect. But parliamentarians or ministers or whoever have you must understand too that respect in return is expected. So because what you have in years gone by, it's taboo. You cannot ask a politician a question. We can question them about something that you don't like because you deem to be in a position, and as such you're targeted.
So exactly.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. I said if we're using parliament to promote, what are we promoting?
Yeah.
Especially when you model it on our modern day politics. What are we promoting?
Not a modern day politics, but a modern day parliament.
Whatever,
Yes.
Like, what are we promoting? You understand what I'm saying? What are we showcasing on TV?
Right.
Why we don't showcase our boat builders? Why we don't showcase carpenters, masons, welding? Things that we know that will provide jobs. Hospitality, arts industry, or who's a chef, or
Right.
What are we glorifying?
Well, if you were listening earlier, you'd hear me advocating for fish pot making.
Exactly.
These things that are very important to us.
Right. Yeah. But
so we could
because and I want to go back to like a while ago, you had a program about culture, and you're saying young people only want to be DJ. You know why? Because now young people are impressionable. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Things the being a DJ is
a popular thing.
It's a big they're popular. Who are our celebrities in Grenada? When they have a celebrity match, football match, majority is DJs. That is our celebrities. Yeah. So what are we glorifying? Who are we glorifying?
Who are we emulating?
Right? we make them popular. We show them on TV, they're on radio. They're all about So why can't we showcase other parts of the workforce or the culture?
But I was saying that to say, in school, I don't understand in karaoke. There is no music on the curriculum, you know. Nobody is teaching music, you know.
Right.
Nobody is teaching do re mi fa sol la ti do like 1, 2, 3, 4. Nobody is teaching
But
music.
he had it in Hillsborough Secondary. He had it. I don't know if he still has it.
Oh, you had it. Who taught music in Hillsborough Secondary?
Judge Cox.
George.
Oh, we didn't have any.
No,
No, we're talking about, people teaching music, the rudiments of music.
Yeah.
You know, the
Right.
stuff and the notes and the value and all those good things. It's not just picking up a guitar, showing somebody a chord and telling them this is G and this is C. Those for that done.
I went to Bishop College, right? And we had steel pan. Remember Mr. Mike on the opposite side of the street?
Yes. I'm Michael Agostini.
We had steel pan. We had we started our pan BC Stars pan band in Kung Fu. Yeah, and which was she got juvenile was she was a good principal. She encouraged a lot of things. We had fun and frolic. We had a carnival. People shot free. Everybody started to swing in school. Like it was well structured around that time.
Yeah, okay.
But better than today, I should say.
Okay. Yeah, but the point that you're making, Collar, and I really want to applaud on that, because sometimes, and this is why I like discussions, we could exchange ideas, get each other views, and have a different opinion at the end of the day, which you are making some very, very valid points there. And I didn't even look at it the way you looked at it, but now my look now is different, and I think we should try to see if we could, use the opportunity now to change the narrative, change it in a way where it's going to benefit us, in future. And as you just mentioned there with the parliamentarians now, we need to go back to the school, to basics. Let's go back there and start to work again. Yeah. I think we're going to get much more.
We need to learn the word. We need to learn the word unity too.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, that's all right. Okay, Collar. Well, Collar, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your contribution. Okay, bye. All right, gentlemen, I'm getting an update again. You see, now this update is we discussed, or we mentioned earlier on the representative for St. David's.
Okay.
And the first information that came into us was some Yolande Smith. But now I'm getting more information, and this one seems to be updated, as they are saying, in that the candidate, and one caller had mentioned it was a Noreen Thompson. There was a Thompson. You remember a caller said
yes,
Thompson?
Yeah.
Well, now the information coming to me now saying is Nolan Thompson and not Yolande Smith.
As Nolan Yolande?
Noreen Thompson. Noreen Thompson. That's what they're saying now. So anyway, as time goes on, we're going to get the real. We're going to get it good.
But I was just, in fact, before we went into this parliament thing, there I was trying to say that GBN last night had it, and we could have gotten it from there. GBN News. I mean, yes. Okay. So sometime if you're still interested in it, we could always play it.
Yeah, we could
and get that part.
Okay, yeah. All right. Let me take a call. Vibes FM caller, come in. Caller, yeah, caller. What's up, caller? Come in. Hello.
Good morning.
Yeah, hello. Yes, hi.
Good morning, Kim.
Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning, brother Cole.
Good morning.
So, Leo.
Good morning, sir.
How are you doing?
I'm fine, thanks. Yourself?
Love to hear your voice, man. I was not going to call this morning. I didn't really interested, but I so pleased to hear you come back there. And every time you come on, it's like you turn on the pressure, It's a coil was like when you're wrong.
Yeah, it was just some circumstances beyond my control that caused me to be absent last week. But as long as I'm in good health and I'm available, I'm home.
Yeah. I wasn't feeling too well last week too, week before. Yeah, but I informed Kim. I'm a little better this week.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what I really go to call you about, because Yolande is a lady I know, and when she in the foreign mission in Washington and in Florida, she used to send things for me.
Okay.
And her first surname original is Moses. And then she had married. you know, and then, you know, I think they she carry Yolanda Smith. I think was Smith she's the carry. But anyhow, that's the Yolanda I know she and the former prime minister was tight, very, very tight. But I don't know if they don't go down on that level again, because I know, based on information from one of her brother, you know, he's a chef, and we talk a little often. Latter part with the last election and thing in the middle, it wasn't really going on too good. So I don't know, but that was the same Yolanda you're just saying now is not she. So I know they wanted her to run when Oliver was, even before he come in the picture, because she was makeup in that picture a long time. She had very good qualities and things. You understand? But if they say it's not she, I'm glad. Although she had run in that race, she might have come forth. You know, So I glad she didn't take that offer to embarrass herself, because I know she's pretty smart. She know when to jump in the ring and when not to jump in the ring. So if it's not she, her brother might be listening. I say hats off and I'm glad, because anybody running against Deacon Mitchell now, running against Ron, anybody running in Lavery, St. Paul's, Lord, and don't talk about in the South, don't talk about Carriacou. Do you see this 5 seats? I could just talk for them still. There's 2 in Grenville I will be elaborating on just now, 3. But I leave these 5 days for now. You go be like cricket 2-1. You know, you got 2-1 in cricket. You understand? So that what will happen there. So I'm begging people, sorry. Anytime NNP asks you to come and run it for them in this constituency, refuse the offer. Even they give me $20 million because they will lose the people deposit. And I ain't talk about tongue yet, you know. I ain't talk about the tongue of St. George. Because the way how NDC building road for people in River Road and on top of the hill and who boasting and ball, oh God, 20-something years we can't get a track fix. No, we are road, you know, and people boasting. So please, and if I talk the tongue of St. George, that will be sick. Please, stay right there. It has no right in Rockstone that.
I hear you. Okay.
So the name of the person that we are talking about is Nolene Thompson.
Nolene Thompson.
Right. So I guess it's somebody that is new on the scene. But let's see. It's an interesting race. We have 2 years again. A long time. Some people just start the race and finish it.
What is interesting race?
What race? You say race? Interesting race where?
Huh?
Race?
What interesting race?
I didn't say interesting race. I said we have a race. The race is between from now until election. What I'm saying. So I'm just saying, I mean, and I made the point, going on and said, some people just start the race and then finish. So I'm just, looking at it from that perspective.
Well,
people start and finish.
Well, that's not a race.
What is it?
Dog and badge. One pulling the other.
Well, listen. You have your perspective, your understanding of it. But once there is a contest, and in this case, 2 or more people would be vying for the same office. It's a race to me to see who will get to the finishing line first. All right. So I ain't saying. Well, of course, I mean, logically speaking, one might say, it's like lightweight fighting a
David and Goliath.
Huh?
David and Goliath.
But you can't say that because David was not in Goliath's category. Yeah? But David still knocked him out.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can't say.
David and Goliath without a slingshot. So yeah, nothing to. David have nothing to kill Goliath with. He doesn't have a slingshot. So there goes David. He can prevail this time. Tell you this much. No slingshot here.
Yep. Anyway, keep the line open 443-0101. 443-0101 and 403-0101. 403-0101 and 458-1914. 458-1914. A caller is making a comment here, and let me see if I think they're not finished yet. But it sounds very interesting. It says, please tell those callers who think what is happening is not important. Remind them that stateswide, student debate is not taught and not happening. Civics has been discontinued, taken out of the curriculum by the educational system. So we'll now see the consequences of deliberate keeping students out of the political process and keeping the masses ignorant about the legal, political, economic and social decisions that are being legislated. This civics that you always speak about, Soloyo, it has been discontinued. Taken out completely out of the curriculum.
Well, see, people should, I know we have to lobby to get those very important things in our curriculum. Civics is one of them, because I always refer to my old good principal, Brother Leonard. It doesn't matter what degree you have. If you don't know, say please and thank you, you're uneducated.
And he's right about that. He's right. Yeah.
All the time. So I can a good friend called me last week, to ask me, when did they remove thanks from young people vocabulary? That's the person's exact question to me. I thank you. I appreciate that. That's an endangered word, vocabulary. Is taking place with the dinosaurs, is going, And I think that's something we should insist on having.
But, I hear you talking about, not hear you talk about, I say it in a way, to mean anything negative, but I'm just saying, whose responsibility it is to teach civics? Schools or homes?
Well, both. But you see, in today's world, remember, we have a reduction in homes,
In what way?
Where you have a mother and a father with enough discipline and knowledge to pass something on to a kid. How many children you have running around now, and even the father is himself a youth who has not been taught anything about life. You think about it. We just take things for granted. And every time I think about it, for example, I always have to go back to Carrick as an example. You know how come everybody you ask, children, they want to walk, people they want to walk, people they know what they're doing, all they know how to charge. That is the most common thing you hear, And it's true, it's not a lie. Because you see, somewhere along the line, people stop teaching, a breakdown in families, you want to call it that, and children that have been brought into the world weren't privy to good upbringing. I always say to Kim and myself, in our time, we were no big set of wealthy person, but when mommy and daddy say something, you listen, and they're teaching you what they learned from their experience, and they could share it with you.
Yeah.
But to tell a child something is an argument you're starting nowadays, and the people who are arguing on both sides, none the wiser. So because of that, coupled with the fact that we have a system in place where unscrupulous politicians need to keep people in dummy land so that they could vote for them and stay in power. That is exactly what is happening, because for the life of me, I cannot see how somebody who is born and living in Carrick could tell me that they're in support of NNP, when in truth and in fact, you can show me one good thing substantive that they've done for you. So collect whatever little monies you have, teach you nothing, and every time is the same old empty promise, and we can't catch up with that just yet. And if those of youngsters who didn't learn all the while, today they're seeing a difference if they want to be observant.
Yeah. And that is where education comes in, right there at the top. And this is one of the reasons our Prime Minister right now is focusing, and they're paying a lot of attention to educating the public now, because that's where people could make the right decisions. You know, this dependency syndrome and this the way politicians want to have you just to get a vote so they could stay in power.
Knowledge is kept away from you, and lack of knowledge is lack of power. Knowledge is kept away from you. You should learn certain things. Why is it that, for Christ Almighty, there has been no more emphasis on education then as there is now? Huh? And don't tell me Dr. Michel don't understand the importance of education. He went to good schools. And he knows the benefit of an education. So what you imparting now, okay, you were educated and you know what it takes to get you long in life, and what you're offering, devotion and money. Especially Mr. Imani, is a training course that is forever trading. And when you graduate, you're still dumb. To lock you up.
Yeah, I know, but
wickedness in high places.
But I really would like to emphasize the importance. I mean, when I asked the question earlier on about whose responsibility, and I say both, homes and schools.
Yes.
But I really think we should also speak in those terms about parental guidance and home teaching children, those things we're talking about. Those, please, thank you. It comes from home. Well, I mean, it comes from home by and large. Yes, of course, when you go to school, you learn science and all those things too. I mean, and so on. But I'm just saying, the home has to be the center of education.
When there is a home.
Well,
but I'm trying to say, yeah,
when there is a home. Okay, yes. When there's a home, but we have homes. We have people that we have homes.
No. Hello.
Don't
listen,
we have homes?
The reality is, and I'll just ask you a question. When you were growing up years ago in your beauty, your mother or father, even if they didn't live together, you know what they instilled in you, and you know how much you were able to get away with. It's not the same now, and as a result, people don't have the same amount of respect and understanding and even rationality that you expect of a youngster. So, in the absence of that coming from the home, we're hoping that those who are educated and are not teaching will be able to assist. But
I mean,
but what's your curriculum? What you teaching?
Why are we taking away the responsibility from?
Not taking. No, not taking away. Not taking.
But we can find all kinds of reasons why it should be in school. Yes, I agree, and of course that's it. But I'm talking about the responsibility of homes. Are we? I mean,
just tell. Yes, you're right. You're very right. It's the responsibility of the home. I'm saying when there is a home. What in the upper is the responsibility of the home body and the home.
Well,
so
when you say if there's a home, what do you deem a home?
Let me tell you.
A house is not a home, eh?
A house is not a home.
I hear you.
Right.
But
explain. When you have somebody in your domicile that they themselves are trained and disciplined and they could pass on something to you, you'll get it. But if there is no such person, a lot of times nowadays, the child who is there left with his mother and the father gone roaming. So who's teaching the child something? The poor mother more grieving than she training. Who that is prominent in our society today. You can't say no. Yeah. And as a result, I tell you what too. When and parents nowadays playing the fool and all of them. You hear me say a long time ago, there are no bad children. It's just bad parenting.
Yeah.
Oh God, leave the boy, let do that. And it's a big deal. Don't teach the child to do anything. In my mother's house, we see a few of us lie down on the ground. When she tell you to get up twice, the third time you get in some water. Take your bed and go outside. You do as you're told and do it now. You understand me? So you know.
Watch. You have to speak again. What are you doing?
You think it's
but it's
but
tough love. But if you look at it, sorry,
we have to,
what really happened that created this breakdown?
Yeah, in the home.
Because what happened? We never knew it like that. And now we're coming to experience that. So something somewhere along the line transpired and created this
But
the breakdown now that we can't
well, I'll say to you, the so-called migration is one. Don't take care of migration. A lot of our good heads and good men just flew.
Yeah.
And those who like super fleeing, and those who left,
yes,
those who left is because they can go on 9 out of 10 times. They just don't have what we knew. They didn't get what we had. Nobody passed it on to us. Now I always say that life is a relay, you know. You must get the baton. You must take from somebody else to complete your race. You can't just run as a wild pig. You have to know something about where you come from, who you are. Who's teaching you that? Nobody. Not in the home, not in the school. And you keep insisting on home.
No, I'm just saying. No, I insist on home in that way. I'm saying both home and school, they have a responsibility.
Absolutely, that's what I said too.
So I'm hearing us talking about and giving the reason why about schools. Okay, yes, I understand. The curriculum in schools is what it is, but let's put that aside for a while. And homes don't have any curriculum. Homes have guidance and rules and regulations and so on. So the point I'm making is that in the home, if the school is not doing what it's supposed to do, warm to the home. And the home is where it begins. You begin in school.
But let me tell you, so when you're growing up, the school and the home used to coordinate, you know.
Well, I mean, all that.
There was one, you know.
All that.
Because not let me tell you, you at school and you were disciplined by the headmaster, right?
Yes.
You go home, you don't want your mother to know, you know. You don't want nobody to know because why? They're going to find out why you were disciplined, and then they would take the turn to discipline you again.
Yeah, they have changed things.
So it's but now
how change from what to what?
Change.
Tell me, I love to hear your
suggestion. Change our attitude. Or attitude for when you're home, the responsibilities of parenting has to be taken seriously.
Well, I believe.
Hold on.
I agree with him. When you're home,
yes. Yeah.
And when you're not home,
and what?
And when you're not home,
when you're at home.
In instances where the home is just a house, we're talking about.
But you all keep talking about if there's a home and if there's a home. I mean, so where children grow up, on the street. On the street?
No, we're talking about home in the context that there's somebody there who could keep you on the right track and teach you what is right and wrong.
That's
the home we're talking about. And we're talking about some place where you live in and you're getting wet because you're galvanized in the house.
Well, I mean, I was speaking about a house, you know.
Well,
I never say house, you know. I always say I say home. I say home, and a home. Did a song? What? Home is where the heart is.
But you're
it's not house. It's saying a home.
But
why not? Even though it's not there now, as we knew it then. Why not all of us come together and build homes so that children can be protected, children can be loved, children can be given a hands up in life. Okay, if it's not there, why not let's demonstrate for it and say where the homes, bring back the homes. If we are that serious and want to see that happen, go to the street and demonstrate and say bring back the homes.
But what has transpired over the years, you realize that, Koi, in that the age difference, mommy and child, has gotten so close, because I know growing up and my grandmother, not even grandmother, but my mother, age difference. There was an age difference, and your elders and everything like that is age that you would respect, that, you had to realize that there is a difference and you have to take correction, you have to take, disciplinary measures from them. But now you would have the daughter or the mother competing with the daughter to wear a tight skirt, armless, and short pants and whatever, and showing all the legs out and things like that. So now when you have the situation taking place now, what do you expect? What? Who teaching who? Who's leading who? The breakdown, there's a massive breakdown there. But I still come back to what we started to speak about, and I said, if we educate ourselves now, if we start bringing that into the home, it's going to change. It's going to change because discipline will come back, and one would be able to teach the other the right way, the disciplines, and everything like that. You would be able to do it. But unless you know it, you can't do it. And this is where we're lacking. And I'm telling you, it's very disappointing.
Mr. Koy, I totally agree with you that which you're looking for should begin with the home and come from the home. But there's a shortfall there at the home.
Yeah.
So we don't have the persons or even the system to develop that what we're looking for. So that's why we have educators and people who should be able to give good advice, teach children proper discipline, teach them how to speak and all those good things, because we don't have it at the home. We don't have it at the home now for the most part.
No.
So what do we do? As a substitute until probably such time as we'll get it back at the home, we'll have the school take care of that. But even more educators are not doing so in some instances. And the reason why they're not doing that, for example, I would say it depends on what we teach in school, what our curriculum entails. Because how you could have a curriculum and you're not teaching civics? So what do you expect that child to learn? Why you not tell them, say, well, good morning and have respect for your elders and all those good things that we were taught. And look at where it get us. We have nobody doing that. And again, well, I'm surprised that they do it 3 hours.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I hear some subject and this, so I even know the name, I can't even explain.
Mm-hmm.
And you can write a resume. You don't know the relation with subject and verb. But you graduating. And something I learned in America. In America, here they talk about how Jews bright and bright and bright. It's not the genes, it's the agenda. Not the genes. They're brighter than me and you, but what they're taught.
Yes.
Because Jews cheapen children and they like freeness. But they send the children to public school. Their own school. Even though the public school free, because they never go to the public school and good.
Right, yeah.
Huh?
That's true.
So they want to try to go to public school because who come in and go in their pocket or the cigarette.
Right.
They in the back pocket and all this kind of foolishness. Mm-hmm. I look at the little Jewish girls going to school, they skirt, they quite by the ankle.
Yeah. Almost dragging on the ground.
Yeah. It was a little black kid with an 8-ball leather jacket. And you live in nowhere. You understand?
Yeah.
You understand the difference how you come about?
We have a lot of work
so
to do.
It's the agenda, not the genes.
We have a lot of work to do. And put that on your agenda to change that attitude in the homes and to make sure that children are supervised in the best way they can and learn some of the basic things about life.
Well, let me tell you something, but it's a big job.
Mm.
It's a big job. But I could guarantee you one thing. If you call my granddaughter now, or you call the house and my granddaughter answers the phone, and you ask her, how are you? She tell you, I'm fine, thank you.
Okay.
Yes. If she has something wrong.
Yeah.
That's what she's been taught.
And you have influenced that. No. What I'm saying is that you are fulfilling your role. Yes, in a home. Teach the younger ones, grand or daughters or sons or whatever. Mm-hmm. It's in your home. It's within your responsibility. Yeah, to ensure that the people under your care, let's put it that way, are growing up with certain caliber and qualities. So yes, I'm saying, you call the home of we got it now, and yes, obviously, I'm very well. Thank you. But where there's no homes and those homes are decreasing by the minute. Yeah. I mean, we can't pretend as though we don't know the current state of affairs or the attitude of parents and children and so on and so forth. Community. So I mean, so it has to be something that we have to come together, like every other thing, and work on it.
Well, I think it's going to be addressed, and I think we're going to start seeing some changes as we move forward. It will take time because the breakdown has been so drastic. Right at this point in time, we need to just go back to the drawing board, realizing where we are and where we need to move forward, and stay in that direction.
But another problem is Kim, is that you and I, we're old enough that we've lived in different eras, and I've experienced, say, what things were like 60 years ago. Huh?
And what it's like now, yeah.
What it's like now, so we could compare and contrast. There are those who, for the last, they ain't go past 20 or 30 years. And all they know, for example, is NNP administration calling you poor and vulnerable. And they have nothing to compare with.
Yeah.
You understand?
That's all they know.
You see the problem, that's all they know. So unless somebody push it in and well, I'm hoping now that we have a change and somebody will tell you, you don't have to be poor, you don't have to be vulnerable. You could be as proud and as successful as anyone who's good for nothing, calling you poor and vulnerable.
Yep.
Huh? So you could be independent and you have a brain that God give you and you could use it for your independence. But if you're going to sit around and wait for the government to give you a handout and then then if government they give me money, I'm playing mass. And you sick?
Vibes FM, caller. caller coming out.
Yeah, Tim.
Yes, go ahead, yeah.
I didn't really want to call back, but I had to call back there because this part of the topic this morning is so interesting in the difference between a home and a house. Let me tell you some of the experience I know what's going on in the different side of home. When people grow up in a home, you will appreciate to see all the goods that your mother and father are doing. And you will learn to have a love for it because they will pass it on to you. When you grow up in a house, you are different. What does go on in a house? You come, your mother young just like you, young mothers, young fathers. Your food in the pot, your food in the pot, take out some. I'm the bigger brother than in the 3 children my mother have. I take out all the meat. I eat it. When my brother and them come, I leave 1 or 2 little pieces, you scramble for that. That's it. That is in a house. People come in what time they want. You're underage, but then when something go wrong, you want to go by the police.
Right.
And then you're saying the teachers, and what the teachers only have one responsibility. It's in charge of you while you are in the school. When you leave the school door, your parents in charge of you, not the teachers. Because what eventually now, because of the attitude of some of these young so-called parents, according to the Mr. Rolo, that what they're doing now is meeting parents and throwing water and embarrass them. So when them teachers see you on the left, they pass on the right and do like if they didn't see you. Because they don't want to have nothing to you. Long time, even though you jumping over a wall to the length of a cement bag, not high, a teacher is going to tell you, don't do that. High size enough for you to fall and mash your teeth up. And they will tell you something. No children go and tell their parents, oh, Miss Clark or whatsoever, see man, every time she only had to show out for man harassing me. And things like a hammer cutlass and I go in jail already and I care, they better stop molesting my children. These are things were going on. So there's a big difference between a home and a house. And I mean, Mr. Carl know exactly, what Solio saying there, and I really appreciate what Carl saying. And Solio, we're not trying to differentiate the thing, but there's a big difference between a house. Mother and father in Fantasia, mother and daughter in Fantasia. Two of them come with different transport. You understand? Because the daughter might be with an old man, and the mother come in the party with a young one. And then they're going home, and 2 of them walk up going inside. One master play. In the morning, nobody don't care. Because that old man might put food on the table. That young boy might wake up in the morning after when the old man gone and eat everything. So it's sorry we had to put it that way, but that is the whole system. Parents must take responsibility to see about your children. That is not nobody else. Them children not to disrespectful. They go in tongue school over in school clothes. What they do in tongue at 10 o'clock? And every time there's a confrontation with police and police and what they have to do is like China and them place on them and North Korea. I'm sorry to say that. You're giving trouble to the state. Your mother will never see you again. And you will never see your mother because she gone in her own domain.
Yeah.
So that is the whole thing. Sorry?
Yeah.
By deny them policy? What? The state said don't line them in tongue. Who's your mother? Kim? And your grandfather is Carl? And your great grandfather is Leo? Well, all they going in different prisons. Thank you.
But I don't know if
Okay, Carla, thank you.
I don't know if it is so now, Kim.
Yeah.
In all the presentation college, you can be seen outside past 9 o'clock in the night.
Be seen.
Yeah.
Be seen. Just be seen.
Just be seen. And certain places you can go. And I could remember to once spend a weekend in Permuta with my good buddy years ago. And when the country turned Lego beast, we do what we want, but we dolls up, going and dance in St. Dominic's school.
We meet in the door.
No, we meet in the door. We teacher is the guitarist. Mr. Fletcher, home road, you can forget party, you can go.
Can go.
Otherwise, Eggs will deal with you the following day because if you go and dance when you're not supposed to be then your teacher then tell. You see,
So that what I'm saying is an attitudinal thing. Our attitude towards those things have to also change. And I like what the last caller said. There's that marked difference between a house and a home.
That would be since this morning?
Yeah.
Hold on a second, gentlemen. Caller, come in. Caller, come in. You're on.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. Yes.
Afternoon to your entire cabinet.
Okay.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good.
I'm good.
Right.
I'm good.
Right. Now, the system about it, what's going on with us today, us, because I'm one of them, is lack of communication in the home. That's where it starts. Secondly, when daddy say no, mommy say yes. And when mommy say no, yes, daddy say no. Right, that's swing around. Then they come back and they tell you now, the rights of the child.
Yeah.
That come out quite in the way of the Pharisee and that. You understand? And it comes in this little country here, this little island. The rights of the child. When you talk rough to your child, you say you're balling and hostile. You hostile the child. When you beat the child, you ill-treat the child. And when you tell the child what to do, the child tells you until the child not a slave. And they are like a slave. You don't see you when you come to school, you have to run home quick. Because you're afraid your mother and your father. Why come, girl, come, let we go there. And this creates the whole problem. And telling the child, when you beat the child, call the police, call 911, call the police for the parents of the child. So what do you expect we will get? What do you expect we will get?
Yeah.
They tell you the right for the child. What do you expect you will get?
Yeah.
When the teacher correct the child, the parents going with broomstick and cutlass to fight the parents.
Yeah.
The parents going with the teacher and cutlass and broomstick to fight the teacher.
Yeah.
Disrespect to the highest in the child person. So what you will get? Well, that of us to be blamed for that because we copy the thing from the mountain outside and bring it in the country.
So true.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
What them Texas Ranger in America, they go to school with rum cigarette and to sing in the pocket. There they going. Right. Watching Grenada here, and you see they started in Grenada too. They started in Grenada, they're going to go to school with one going to school, the other with a gun. You understand? They only don't call the school name and they don't call the child name. You understand? And they think so it's a copycat system that's going on. But we as the elder citizens, grandparents and older, we have to try our best Although the good book says the time would come when children would be very disrespectful, we have to understand that because children would be being put in children, right? And they wouldn't want to hear from parents. And this is what's going on in the world today. Prophecy have to fulfill.
Yeah.
Like some that means that's to life I mean after you.
Okay.
He already can do it. So we have to trust in the master, ask him for mercy and to guide us in the direction what is right. And I love and enjoy you.
All right.
Thank you, Sim, for you.
Caller, thank you so much for your contribution. And this is something that people are realizing, gradually, that everything has broken down so bad that we need to just go back to the drawing board to start see if we could rebuild in some way or the other. And I believe it's going to start again through education. I think that's the foundation. Yep.
Education and appreciation. Until it came, remember there's a time when you associate with older folks. Of course, you have to show respect, and that was a requirement. And you gain wisdom from them. They always could tell you something that's going to open your eyes.
Yep.
You see, but now we have social separation. We don't even socialize together. A young son wants to see you. It doesn't have to be a party. Even though you go to a game or dance, you could share some space with somebody who's older. But when you see all kids together and all old people together, what you learning from your peers?
Yeah. Now, as you just spoke about that earlier, I remember, I used to go and sit down. I personally used to like to speak to the elders, because things they would tell you, you could learn from that, and it make you think if the situation, pops up, you know exactly what to do. But in most instances, it was learning of people's experience. So maybe in the future, you have a better idea how to do yourself, how to go about,
But look at wisdom. You see on Middle Street in Caracol had the biggest yellow plum. Belonged to Mr. Cropper. The plum tree spread big. When you see Ben Boys, it's yellow roses. So when you go by Mr. Cropper to buy plum, you sit down in front of it. You can't climb, he's telling you to climb. Pick the plum and bring it down for him. Then he's going to sell you how much on. But when you climb the plum tree, Mr. Cropper insists that you could whistle. And whistle, let me hear you.
You can suck plum and whistle at the same time.
But it took us a long time to realize what Mr. Cropper was getting at, And once you could whistle, you could climb Mr. Cropper plum tree, because anytime you stop whistling, you're not impressed anymore, so you're whistling.
Because you have
plum. Wisdom.
So don't think you're smart and play your.
You know too much. You're not sucking Mr. Cropper plum and make him lose on the deal. Cut that foolishness out.
Yeah.
So see, but little subtle things that these guys teach you, and just being around them, it's good. That is why sometimes you have times when you must be with your colleagues and so on and so forth. But sometimes it takes it's a good thing to be with somebody who's older than you that could pass on the knowledge that they get through experience.
So Leo, let me ask you this. There's a saying, and it's up to just last week last week I think I heard somebody made that comment that it takes a village to grow up a child.
All the time. In America, everybody said that in America. No, we had the village all the time, and we get rid of the village. The village meaning that you be your aunt, your friend, anybody else, and you could train you.
Well, that's the kind of education we need from the home.
But after we have that, after an older person could discipline in the road, we stop thinking about that and we listen to Dr. Spat. Dr. Spat is the one who writes and say that if you flog a child, the child will grow up to be violent. Dr. Spat can tell me that because my own personal experience is thanks to the licks I get. So Dr. Spat can tell me that. But we listen to Dr. Spat. And now every anytime I don't buy a moment the other day, bring bang, back, bang, job and bugle thing going on thing. You are the child. What about you are the mother?
more than a year.
Okay.
More than a year. Mother is always present. Not year, not month, not date.
Vibes FM, Kala Kawin.
Yes, good afternoon, my brother.
Yeah, good afternoon.
I want to talk about this tariff. And I'm looking at us in this country. You hear the youth actually say, when America says catch food.
Yes.
But our tariff start since the 15% come on us. I really, to me, I feel that is a tariff. We have to pay light bill 15%, water bill 15%, cable bill 15%, and when you go in the grocery shop, sometimes you pick up 5 different items and 15%, and that. This 15% is like oh gosh, it's really rough and hard enough. Listen, when you go in the to the Lion, when they write up the tariff, then they slap that 15% on you. You go in the hardware to buy some material, 15%. So you know what 15% we have to pay when you check it up in the end of the day? I like to tell you, to me, Trump was the what, so he dropped the 15% and in the Caribbean and so much.
Yeah.
That's one thing you could say. The 15% is too hard. You buy a pack of sticks, 15%, and it's so hard, especially for small operators. No, not no, but send the 15% because your profit now. That is the 15% and the little shark drink to buy one case, 15%. Half case, 15%. Tell me how small business lifting up there. That's too much 15% and nothing this. We need to know, man. I don't know what they could do. Give us a little break, especially small operators, and ease up some of the 15%. To go and buy some material now in construction. The material is 2,000 something. You know how much is the 15%? 300 plus. So it's, I don't know who looking at that, but to me, with tariff is the 15% in Trinidad. That is the way I feel about that tariff.
Okay.
It's really hard.
It
man.
is.
All right, my brother.
Okay, thank you so much. And speaking about the tariff there, as that caller just mentioned there, we here down here we didn't start feeling it yet, but we're going to start getting the brunt of it, pretty soon.
Well, I don't know, of course, because you drop down on us yet, we're still surviving on what
we had
already had before the tariff was coming in effect.
Yeah.
And Trump with his stupidity, going and raise and think he will hurt China. Every time we think China up the ante, we got things at 105 now, China put on America,
Yeah.
No, I think I'm not sure. I'll have to go and check again, but I think I saw somewhere early this morning or sometime that the tariff from China is up to 204% now. I mean, this is incredible. As I said, I'm not quite sure on that, but I had to go and check. But when I saw it, I knew it was, astronomically high. 200% tariff.
But you see, ignorance is as Donald Trump, etc. Don't understand now that no man is an island as big and as powerful as America is.
Yeah.
Yes, you're the superpower, yes, but you do need the other members of the planet to exist. So you can't just arbitrarily doing what you want and think is the right thing to do. And the thing that bothers me so much more so, his advisor, Mr. Musk, I'll call it apartheid part 2. The guy, the first thing, who's worth over $200 billion, that is yours. I think you will never leave if you spend 100,000 a day.
You could live for a long time.
You live for a long time. And the first thing he did was to get two contracts in his favor for hundreds of millions of dollars. One for Tesla, the other one for SpaceX. And then you're trying to fleece the average person. But when saying so, it's good for them damn Trump supporters too, because the hungry has come.
You can't say that.
Oh no, man! Well, no, they were promoted because they listened to Trump and the foolishness.
No,
And Trump trying to tell people that no, there's some people that are responsible for your misery and not the system. So when they do that, and also no, even they still can sit no. Yes, it's good. Let you raise the tariff, and when you go in the shop, you feel it.
It is not him, you know.
Yeah, you feel it because Trump. When Trump done mop from people, and then Elon Musk, what you have? What you have in the piggy bank, you don't have that in your whole bank. So,
Live FM caller, line and caller. I mean,
Yes.
what's the caller?
Hi, Kim.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one is for you and Brother Leo.
Yeah.
Brother Leo,
yes, sir.
how do you talk about the Jews? You know, like people saying the Jews very bright, the kids very bright. Yeah? But you see, as you know, when our culture, our people die, and we leave a property for our kids, maybe 95% of them quick sell it tomorrow, isn't it? The Jew will buy from the black people, isn't it, in America? Yeah?
Yeah.
You will never see a Jew sell a property for a black person easy. True or false?
That is why we say they appear to be bright because of the agenda, not the genes.
Right.
There is nothing inherent in them that make them brighter than me and you, but it's how they utilize the time God gives them.
Exactly.
Like if you they in party 24/7, you did dancing, bouncing low, and then the book studying. So you see what the result is going to be. And that is why they don't want to send their children to public school, because the public school government don't care who learn and who ain't learn. But they have different things, the agenda. It's not that they're bright, they're brighter than nobody else.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And one other thing that does as well, they will leave their wealth or the property for the next generation. We don't do that.
No.
We try to spend everything now.
No. No, we want it now.
Yeah.
You know, once my son said to me once, I see you only wearing like plain t-shirts, plain jeans, yeah? So I said to him, why you always wearing just plain t-shirts and plain jeans and no like brand name Adidas, Nike? He said to me, why make this company richer? And from then I click it, you know. And it's a true thing. Because you go and buy the brand name trainers, the t-shirts for $80, $90. One buy you could buy a plain one for $30, $20, even $10, and be happy with it. You know?
Yeah, that makes sense.
And that's it. 2 cents.
Yep.
2 cents.
Yep.
Because I see if you go on holiday, yeah, you just pull out like a bag, 2 shorts, maybe 1 jeans, 2 jeans, about 4 t-shirts, and plain t-shirt. That's it. Just go.
Yep.
But we know we have to go and buy shop and have the clothes people wear when they want to come on holiday in Grenada and Caribbean. They don't wear it. They doesn't wear it.
You're right.
So it's something we have to learn. We have to learn as well from the Jews. You know what I mean? Don't sell our property easy if you don't have to. Will it until the other generation. You could rent it out, and you get the rent every month. That money will never finish. But when you sell, sometimes within a year, 2 years, the money finish. They buy a new car, you go on cruise, money done.
Yep. Yeah. Okay.
Because I even see that here in Grenada as well. So some parents, they work so hard. I won't call the name. And as they die, the business go under. Anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Okay, Colin.
If you go to Brooklyn now, you're lost, you know. The amount of high rise in Utica Avenue and the amount of high rise on Linden Boulevard.
Utica Avenue?
I'll tell you right where. Utica and between Rutland on Winthrop.
And Winthrop.
Years ago,
You used to have those car.
Well, car garage, yes, and
car garage, yeah, right, yeah.
But on the other side, but used to be Cooper's Plumbing.
Right, okay.
So you're back to back with them.
Brookdale?
Kingsbrook.
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 Yeah.
If you see the height of the building there, boy.
What?
On Linden Boulevard, all Linden Claxon, everybody's high rise, and I don't know. I can read the move at all. You seen some, but and so they gain small landlords pressure is a well thought of scheme, you know, because if you like when you go to a court now, but the amount of rules and regulations that you have to adhere to, if you can,
yeah, I heard that, yeah.
If you can be below for you, know,
yeah,
man. So is that what's happening now? They're very strategic in what they're doing now, boy. I don't know. I would like to see Brooklyn next 10 years. As for downtown Brooklyn, forget that.
Well, I saw the transformation in that the last time I was there, you know.
Wow.
And from the time they started to do the Flatbush Avenue.
Yes, right back listing.
Yes, right, yeah.
You remember when the Hanson Place was the tallest building in Brooklyn?
Yeah.
No, Hanson Place is a basement. When you see the amount of high rise they belong there now.
Oh my God.
Hanson Place.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my. Well, things changing a lot, eh?
Yeah.
But that's the idea. There's a reason behind all of that, though.
Yeah. Well, that's super gentrification, I call it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only way to displace you. Then before you turn on, you can afford it. Find your corner.
Mm-hmm.
What do you call it? Super what?
Super gentrification. Gentrification. They don't want you there no more.
Gentrification.
Get yourself in a corner.
Yeah, you have to realize you're out.
Yeah.
We don't want to go out, you know.
Just as how they do in Harlem, you know. Remember Harlem used to be Black Star?
Yes.
You go on 125th Street and
St. Nicholas.
And St. Nicholas, you go find out, oh God, yourself. You can stand up, you can sit down here for long. If you're not.
But you see, with all that taking place there, again, and in the beginning, if you remember, we were speaking, some of the things we need to look into and then see if we could, in our environment here, make some changes, because changes are taking place and we need to upgrade to a certain level to make it more comfortable for us to and for people, you know, coming to visit us, you know. And that's one of the reasons that behind Hillsborough, I'm well behind this revitalization project to make sure that we make a change, bring it more.
We were expected to exist under a system, operate on a system in which we weren't educated though to understand. So a lot of things, for example, again coming back to Brooklyn as an example, and you will see that here. Those who make the laws,
yeah,
you know nothing about land, and even though they tell you ignorance is no excuse, but you don't know, but you're expected to operate under something that you don't know, and that too much of that is happening here, or people are not educated as to what is expected from them, even simple real estate deals or business dealings we don't understand. So we could will always be behind the 8 ball. You know the difference. Sad.
Yeah.
So you could tell somebody like, looking in Hillsborough, you walk in the streets, the amount of holes and deep ones too, and we're satisfied with that. We're not going to ask for anything different. So we don't care. We don't know. We don't care. That's where we are.
That's where education comes in.
Correct.
Yeah.
We have to, you know,
people
have to know what they're entitled to.
Yes.
I am entitled to protection, for example, you know, and that's, and if you don't know that your entitlement, you'll go on your knees begging and say, you know, when you ought to have known that it belongs to you, you ain't going to ask, please, thank you, can I? I mean, you go in and claim. You go in and, you know, education. So if you don't know, you'll just keep on walking on your knees.
I like the idea somebody come up with it instead of the police force, police service.
Yeah.
Years ago, it says something. you're not. We don't force you as a force.
Yeah.
Service.
Right? You become a force when you become unruly.
Right. Yeah.
But the basic thing you hire
Provide a service.
Provide service and we serve and preserve.
And protect.
Protect. Yes. That's your first role.
Yeah, that's it. Serve and protect.
So we force come out.
Well, no, it's where royal come out.
Huh?
No, it's not force. It's where royal come out.
Well, that one wrong. Very, very. that one.
Well, yes, but what of course that at the time in the West Indies, we don't call this place West Indies anymore. I'm saying, Caribbean and so on and so forth. But in those times, that was the language used. Force.
Well, you must understand that we were colonized by England, and even when they just let us go, all they leave us we broke our teeth, but it's just good manners. So we have manners. We have money, but we have manners. That's what the British left us. So a lot of the remnants and the thing, then we should go. Princess Royal Hospital, why you call it Leo Hospital? And again, more like okay, I could run them. So and came
that Princess Royal.
How you mean? What Princess Royal come on?
England.
Check.
wait. England. We have Princess Alice in Grenada. We have Princess Royal in Carriacou. And I'm sure if we're going to build another one, might call it Prince or Prince this or King this or whatever, and so on.
And when they open it, they want to eat free food and they call it name it after that.
Yeah. Again, this could be avoided based on education. Education.
But I believe we're going to have some changes in those lines pretty soon, because this government is thinking.
Yes, and the premises is to that. Yes.
Yeah,
you understand.
Yeah.
We're not always asking for what you call it, form of government again. That Barbados Republic. Yeah, this thing, democracy, lying as horse.
And that has led us and kept us down for the longest while.
What I mean is
under this system there, we can't really move forward, as we want to,
That system is anesthetic. I was the main if we're going to come in feeling pain. More the beat us our system is anesthesia. You can't feel.
Let me know, listeners. 443-0101. 443-0101. 403-0101. 403-0101. And also you can call 458-1914. 458-1914. What's happening in Hillsborough? Gentlemen, I don't know if you're looking closely now, but the area where they're thinking of where the old community center was now, that area has been transformed already, yeah? And we didn't get the product yet.
But you know something, and if I'm going to queue it up, and we have to sometime in the future play it, some admonition from.
I mean, Miss Mens?
Miss Mens.
Yes.
The advices that she gave, and tell them when they fix the jetty, make sure they put the concrete outside, because concrete could take the water, iron can't. I mismentioned.
Older folks, eh?
Older folks.
No.
Concrete. Hold on. Let me dissect.
No, she's.
No, I know. I believe she's correct, but I'm just trying to dissect it.
Yeah.
Concrete could take water.
Salt water, yes.
Salt water. Iron cannot. I mean, try to go inside of that and see how you could understand it and apply it. In truth, concrete would take the water. So put the concrete outside and put the iron inside.
Especially on the surface. Because you see, if the iron is submerged, it wouldn't corrode, because there is no oxidation taking place.
Okay, yes.
Yeah? So, but when it's above and wind and the oxygen and so on, that will go.
Rust
So if it's submerged at the surface of the water, you must have concrete there. You don't want that thing to be exposed. And I said to her that we have a new prime minister. What is your advice to him? Listen both sides, but think for yourself.
Couldn't be said better than that. Listen to both sides.
Think for yourself.
But think for yourself.
Yes.
That's a good advice.
And what is it to the children? if they're not going to do anything properly, don't start. I must pray for you.
Words of advice. We must bring that from Mr. Leo. Vibes FM? Vibes FM caller? Caller? Yes, hello. Yes.
I just want to say happy and hope to everyone. I want to say congratulations to the young athletes who came from Kansas to represent to what they do. And I also want to say thanks to you guys for helping to keep the cultural life in Kansas, like you always do, and keeping us informed. And I know those who continue to spread the light must know that their noise is less in the map because we are what is good. I just want to continue to support, and as we keep alive, those who go out and celebrate, to remember to keep the peace. Do not disturb the churches and the people that continue to have the service when we pass. Have a blessed weekend to our friends, all of the Catholic listeners, all of the opposition, and we hope that we find candidates for the 220. They are saying it soon, but I see that this Rwandan are doing a lot of work. God bless everyone.
Okay. Caller. Simply we're having a little bit of a problem there with
What,
that.
the clarity was not.
Yeah, it was not that clear, you know, but I caught quite a number of words that you were trying to say anyway. But getting back to our new cultural center that's been proposed right now, so Leo, in that area where we're going to have that state-of-the-art tennis court,
Okay.
it's going to.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, it's going to make a big difference in the attitude of the younger ones now when there's place for them for recreation.
Well, so good. And you know,
Yeah.
as you just said, as you mentioned the word tennis court, at this point I'd like to give a shout out and kudos and all the good things to my good friend Mr. Mario Blaze. That is the the discipline and the determination, the perseverance of an authentic kayak.
Yeah.
Day in, day out, hot sun, cool sun.
He's there.
He's there. And this early morning, and I'm so happy and I'm so proud of what is happening there. You will see, and people of all ages, you know,
yeah,
taking part in it. Hey, Mario boy, let me give you a shout out.
I guess one of the other, not one of the, but the evidence we can see is that we just had two youngsters, young girls, taking part in a tournament in Barbados, and of course, all these passed through him in terms of training and so on and so forth. You know, so I mean, you see him there all on early mornings, yeah. Others seen him. He's sending others there in other places where they can excel.
Yes.
And grow. I mean, he is tremendous. He is committed.
I wonder how much people recognize or realize the contribution. Until somebody tell me what Mario did from every now and again, he treat them to a lunch to encourage them to come.
Yes,
he does.
So
Yes.
that is no little contribution, you know. That is coming from the heart and the soul.
I mean, to volunteer your service.
Yes, you're mad.
Still, you know, because I remember just before burial, a couple of months before that, when he took a team to Grenada, and look at the condition that we have to deal with here, and went down to Grenada, and they performed extremely well. As a matter of fact, they got a couple of medals. which was surprising to me because I never knew that they were getting that sort of a training. But he's wonderful.
He's working hard. He's working
very,
hard.
very hard.
Contribution, boys.
Again, if I might, not that I want to bring up things, but you see, he came from a home.
Thank you.
He came from a home.
Thank you.
Not a house.
But and not only a home, you know, but he came from a different era too.
Yeah. Right.
I see him as again a bona fide kayak. To give that kind of service, that kind of community service. Selflessness. Yes, Mario boy.
Yeah.
Job well done.
All right. I know you said you might have to.
Just wait a second, please. Let me take this call quickly. Okay. Vibes FM, caller you on.
Oh, hi, good afternoon. Just a short call. I just want to thank Mr. Joseph very, very much for saying kudos to Mr. Blaze.
Yeah.
I look at him and I really admire what he's doing for the youngsters.
Mm-hmm.
Kudos to Mr. Joseph and kudos to Mr. Blaze.
Okay. All right. Thank
And
you.
kudos to you to come, Kim, and, and Mr. Coy.
Yes,
Thanks
yes.
for a lovely program.
Okay, no
God
problem.
bless you all.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
thank you so much. Jay.
Thank you.
Yeah, Coy, go ahead.
Yeah, I
You were
was
saying
saying this might be a good opportunity for us to make the recommendation that the community center in Hillsborough should be named Judith Men's Community Center.
What is going to be a cultural center?
I mean, not the community center.
Yeah,
I'm talking about I mean the cultural center. And indeed, she was highly cultural.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, let's start thinking about that and probably put it forward when the time comes to have it done. But all now we can start referring to it as the Judith Men's cultural center.
But you know, we were never short on that. You know, I've been saying that for years upon years now. As a matter of fact, I tackled Mr. Nimrod on that.
Yeah.
Mr. Prime and all those who call. Well, I didn't with Mrs. Matthew and Stewart. But it's not only because she was the one who initiated the Carriacou Community Center. Miss Menz was the social conscience at Carriacou years ago, and I could
Everything.
tell everything.
I had to pass through her.
You kidding? Even when we had, VIPs, people visiting here, dignitaries visiting here.
She
Miss Menz was a go-to person.
Yes.
Teaching them in girls where to put how to set a table, all this kind of foolishness. Miss Menz was it.
Yep.
And the pastries and everything else that was raised Mrs. Menz. And she did it on weaving. She was always there. So how on earth you could go have somebody? When I told her, I said, Mrs. Menz, you know what? So I'm happy to tell you that I think they'll be redoing the community center.
Excitement. Yes.
Excitement.
Yes.
I said, I know. As far as I remember it was your brainchild.
Yeah.
And I was always beseeching them to name that thing after Judith Menz. Yes, ma'am.
Well, it will be nice.
Yeah.
And we're going to see that come to fruition, hopefully.
Yes.
And I was going to make a quick comment before I bring Dr. Pett, who's here with us now too. But imagine the results we are getting right now with Mario and his contribution he's making to tennis. Imagine getting a state-of-the-art tennis court with the equipment.
Yeah.
Gosh, leaps and bounds.
And since we're on that, before, so sorry I had to leave. I think the next thing I have to advocate is of a veterinary hospital for Dr. Pett.
Dr. Pett, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. I'm listening very attentively.
Yes.
Even when I'm walking, I'm listening. I have the phone in my pocket.
Okay, right. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah.
Anyway, thank you to Leo for that suggestion. But the good thing about it is that in Carriacou, I don't want to sound biased, but I left Carriacou in 1976. And just as I left Carriacou, the pets just so they are. People don't really take care of pets. Only people who come from like England, America, Canada.
But we're getting a little bit.
No. The people in the clinic said to me, Dr. Andrews, we will get there, but things are not getting better. They are just the same. And I wonder how the pet survives in Carriacou. There is no distemper. There is no parvo. There is no hepatitis. Actually, I just saw a goat with hepatitis. Leptospirosis for the first time in Carriacou, which is very dangerous. So in Lauriston, so you have to be very, very careful. Lepto is caused by the rat. The rat urinate in the food or water or grass, whatever. And they have the bacteria, and then they pass it on. And that is transmissible to human, leptospirosis and rabies. So that goat, I just came from there looking at that goat. Put on my gloves, make sure protective gears. I told you they have to slaughter the goat and bury it or burn it. Because you say, I'll put it in the bush. People in Carriacou, that's how we are in Carriacou. We behave like in India with pets, with livestock. We just want to see them. She have it a long time. But it's dangerous. So why keep it?
She doesn't know any better. But you see,
I explained to her the danger.
Yeah. But I tell you what, that I remember years ago, you see, there is a nurse, Georgie Scott. Georgie Scott was responsible for probably 95% of the births in Leicester. Leicester?
Yeah.
And all Georgie Scott had was a little black bag that she going from house to house to house to house to deliver babies. And the first time I had the opportunity to go to a delivery suite in St. Luke Roosevelt Hospital in America, and I see the amount of gadgets. They have the what monitoring your pressure, what monitoring this, what monitoring that, the feeders and all this kind of thing.
I wonder what.
How we survive.
Yes.
How we survive. But God just take care of Jesus
You
will
see,
provide.
you see, no, you have technology, and
Yeah.
it's just like in 1979, the first case of parvovirus. So parvo is they'll have diarrhea, vomiting. Most of them we don't vaccinate them at 6 to 8 weeks and so on. But the first case we had in Grenada was in 1979, and that's a foreigner brought from the States.
Oh,
So the animals were very resistant, but with climate change and a lot of different things coming into being, you'll find a lot of diseases, and we'll find a way. I don't know, as the old people say, the scientists probably throwing things in the air for we to get sick to make money. But people didn't used to get sick in Carriacou. When I met someone died from Carriacou, 190 something, you understand?
Yes,
but no, young, old, it doesn't matter what age you are.
Yeah, well, I do not understand what this will happen. Even, but the sad thing, Belly Hospital, as far as delivery and what we call this, the midwifery and so is concerned,
Yeah.
didn't change 1 ounce from since I was 2 years old. What?
That's true. Now, what you saying is true. Same thing. Same old, same old.
So the same way you left it?
It was.
So midwifery and all those things there and so on. I mean, I want to go into that. I mentioned that that name. I just repeating it here, but these are things that we don't need anymore because of technology and
What do you mean?
changing in
What do you mean about technology?
No, I'm saying the way in which we used to do it then. It used to be done then. Now we have all kind of modernization. Just press a button and everything happen.
In Carriacou?
Huh?
In Carriacou? I thought we're in Carriacou,
Wow.
I talk about where the world is, And I tell you, when I visit the trauma unit in Bel Air, the biggest piece I could be in the trauma unit is actually a tank,
A tank?
But most people, they used to deliver the kids at home. My grandmother was a midwife. She didn't have no university degree or even secondary education.
Well,
all of us born home in Dover.
Well, we survive.
Everybody died in
Jesus
one
will provide.
home.
Jesus provide. You're right about that.
Jesus provide, man. But I tell you, no. But in this day and age, for example, you won't tell me you go to a dentist here or even in Bel Air. Why isn't there a good functioning X-ray unit? not even just a flat plate thing I could X-ray, because those things are in this day and age, they're no longer that expensive. And there's a reduction in radiation. Why isn't there something there in the hospital? Since 2005, 2022 is the first time Bel Air Hospital see an X-ray unit,
Yeah.
and something given to us by SGU. Oh God, well, that is to take what they want us to do. If you bounce your toe, tie a piece of thread around your toe still,
Yeah.
instead of having an X-ray.
Blind eye?
No,
I mean, tiny thread is
for your toe to see.
For your toe to see.
So Leo, so how there is the function in Caribou? No X-ray machine? You are saying there was no X-ray machine?
No, you know.
So when you get a fracture, they just walk by what?
No, what? Oh,
magic.
2005, we introduced that in CHS. And CHS was the only place in Carriacou who get an X-ray. Up until 2022, when there was one installed in Prince Royal Hospital, given to us by SGU.
So then if you have a problem, everyone goes to Grenada?
Yes, or go to CHS. That's the reality, and that's not rumor, it's facts. 2022 is the first time. Why you can't pick up a portable X-ray unit in Pitkin Avenue in Brooklyn?
You know you don't. I have a big old X-ray machine. I just got rid of that in 2 years. You got a nice like a laptop.
Yeah.
And you just move around with it, and you just do everything, and it prints everything.
Well, nowadays there was this big unit, what they call. They used to take the film, the X-ray unit, and had chemicals, develop and fix up to get the image. No, I have a CR reader. Click clack, show up on your laptop.
One time.
And that information you could email to any part of the world. And X-ray technology could read and tell you what's going on with that person in real time. So why? Yes,
Why took us so long?
Huh?
Just to stray a little bit, once I was listening to the
No,
program
free.
and I heard you, no, just something I forgot, the only time ran out on us. And I heard you speaking about the candidate for St. David's. But I think she's my friend, but they said Yolan, I sure it's Yolan Smith.
No.
It's not Smith?
No, it's not Yolan Smith. We are that wrong. The name is
Nolan Thompson.
Nolan Thompson.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Because I know Yolan Smith
Yeah, I
very
know-
well,
I
and
know
she used to
where it
work in the High Commission in Canada.
No, Washington.
Washington.
Washington,
Yeah. But no,
yes.
she was in Canada once upon a time.
Before.
Yeah,
Yes.
when I was working in the clinic, I remember how I went to the High Commission. So I thought it was her, but I
No,
know
it
she
was-
was
yeah.
on the government side once upon a time.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's,
I thought it was her.
No, we got it right.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's well. Still child abuse anyway.
That was a second. Think like vitamin color? Landline color?
Good afternoon, Kim. How are you?
Okay.
Mr. Leo. I'm not looking at you all now, so I know Mr. Leo. He was there, and Mr. Coy. So
yeah,
good day to you all.
Thank
Kim,
you
I have
too.
to apologize because I did come to Karikou, but I didn't contact you.
You did?
Yes, but I came up there. I left Grenada this Saturday evening, and I worked whole day Sunday, and left Monday morning. I came and helped a friend.
Okay, all right, okay.
You know, so
excuse.
I kind of get a small appreciation as to what is happening in Karikou.
Mhm.
And the reason why I'm calling is to make a plea. A plea to all persons who are listening to my voice and is able and capable of lending a hand to the people of Karikou in any given way. They should really reach out and do that. One of the things that I realized there is that people have the materials, and because of the want of labor, the lack of labor, that they just can't move. And that is something that I would like our Grenadian comrades to assist the Karikou people in doing. I went up there and I was able to make a difference in one life for that day. All right? And I think if a group of Grenadians, several of them, like 2, 3, 4 persons go up there and they can identify a family, even before going up there, that some group or organization or even the government or the opposition, whoever it is up there, that could identify someone that is in need of that help. That we could render that assistance to them. I mean, I know Grenada is wanting for labor as well, but I think Karikou really deserving that. And considering the weather that is incoming, I would very like us to show some empathy to the people of Karikou and lend a hand where possible.
Yeah.
I realize some people have the money and they just can't even move. It's a really
That's a problem. That's a problem, yeah. That's a big problem.
It really shocked me. But something that I also learned, Kim. You say a lot of stories about the government is not assisting where, and whatever. But I heard it from someone on the other side. And they said to me, Danley, the government has assisted a lot of people. A lot of materials was given up. But the problem in Karikou is the labor. And I felt very, very happy hearing that comment and who it was coming from.
Okay.
Not just the comment, but who it
is
was coming from.
Okay.
Based on what I've been hearing from the opposition people. It's very unfortunate, as I say, I want to put that plea outside there again. 3, 4 guys could come up, go up in Karikou, identify, somebody of them might have to identify some less unfortunate, some unfortunate person, those who really need. Yeah, some people still on 910, some people still on the house. They have the material and they cannot move. Please, let us band ourselves together and assist where we can to the people of Caribbean. Because I think we in Grenada are in a better position than those in Caribbean.
By far.
Yeah, by far. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. We in a better position, and I think we should learn ahead.
The next thing is we into the middle of April now. A couple of months from now, we're going to be back into the rainy season.
That is what I'm talking about. That is what is really bothering me. So that's why I put that plea outside it to persons. I mean, let us forget the money. You have some less fortunate people that really need it. Let us go. One day with 4 or 5 persons could make a serious difference.
Yeah.
Even if you might have to go up there 2 weekends, but it will make a difference in the lives of those people there.
Right.
Having the material, some of them have the money and they can't do anything about it. Please, Grenadians, let us help the people up there.
Well, I appreciate that. Okay.
No, seriously. I mean, this is not about. I mean, I know the Carriacou people. If there was the labor, all of that would have been done already. But the labor is not there, and I think we should try and help them in what way we can.
Mm-hmm.
That is my thing.
Okay. All right.
Take care, man.
Well, take care. Thanks so much. Yeah. Okay.
Good.
Okay. Bye-bye. Okay. Let me get back to you, Dr. Pitt, because I know you've been going around. You've seen both sides of the coin from day one until now. And what you're seeing in Carriacou now, I know it must be impressive, but you were hoping that, some people get some more assistance, especially when it comes to labor, right?
Yeah, I think the labor is the problem. I mean, Carriacou, there are a lot of people in Carriacou, there are a lot of guys who could make an effort. They could try to do better. And we need a lot of labor force, as the guy said. So probably a lot of people do not want to come and do anything voluntarily. These days, everything is about money. So I don't know how they're going to work it out, if they're going to give them, something, some people a lot of people are in need still. They do not have the money, they got the material. But we as Carriacouians, we should really try to give some self-help. Remember the times of the revolution. We try to get back some of these principles and try to help those who are unfortunate. They do not have the manpower to really do anything. We should try to help them. And people from Grenada should come up, as the guys say, and try to help. Even if it's voluntary. Just as we came up after burial and do a lot of voluntary work, we could come up and do it again to make the place bright and beautiful.
Yeah, what you're saying, but the next problem that we have here too is that when you might have people coming in to assist you is the problem of accommodation. That's another issue that is pressing in Carriacou right now. So if you were to say, come up for a day, I mean, your time is really limited as to how much you'll be able to do because you have to travel back on the same day. So this is something that needs to be addressed, if possible, that you're going to have some people come to assist you. 2 days, a Saturday and a Sunday, that could go a long way if you have a couple of people.
But I think, coordination is the key. There is a place where we usually stock some of our medications in Bele, that's in the container. A lot of people come up to the ministries and they live there. They could hold a group of people.
Mm-hmm.
So they could coordinate with NAGMA, and these people could come up and they could stay there for the weekend.
Okay.
That's in Bele. That's the big container close to the farm.
Yeah, I know.
We stock little things there, but there are enough space. There are toilet, bathrooms, there's mattresses and so on. They could come up and they could stay there for 2-3 days. They could come up the Friday and go back the Monday morning with our spring. And a lot of work could be done during these 2 days. Once they provide transport and food and so on, that's okay.
Yeah.
That's what I think is important. So they should look into that. Those who are listening now, they should look into that and speak to NAGMA. I think they'll be very happy to house people there once they are free, when there's no one there.
Okay. Well, that makes sense, And we're going to try to get in touch with them. Koi, I think you have been looking into that.
Yes, that's something that can be done, because the container that used to be in NAGMA's office at one
time.
Yeah, so
and it's air conditioned, everything. So.
Yeah. And even after burial, that was the place where a lot of people stayed. Those from Barbados, those from Guyana.
Yeah, Belize and
I mean, and
Suriname.
There are places that a lot of them stayed.
Mm-hmm.
So it is a good idea that we could probably reactivate that and coordinate it, and turn to, because one of the problems is, in truth and in fact, I mean, if they're willing to come up, where would they stay? when they finish work in the day or whenever, they need somewhere to to get the things themselves sort it out. So it's a suggestion that I'll follow up on. I'll talk to the people at NADMA.
And they have transport because the government have a number of new vehicles, new pickup, which they could coordinate with Miss Tanis Claus. She's in charge of transport. So, once you do everything and you get everything on par, people could come up and walk because they will know it's voluntary.
Mm-hmm.
You get food, you get a nice jack iron, a little black wine. I'm speaking about after you finish, not during work time.
I know.
Go on the beach, go on Paradise, go like a snorkeling, go on Sandy Island, make it a little bit attractive. Okay, it's voluntary.
Mm-hmm. Okay, just a second. Let me take a call quickly. Perhaps FM caller, live caller coming.
Hi, Kim.
Hello, yes. Hi.
Morning. I wanted to make a comment on Mario.
Yeah.
I remember years ago Mario was saying, it was me, this speaking.
Yeah, recognize.
That we have to put some concrete down. That was the last NDC government was in power. I think it's 2008. And I always pass by and see him working under those conditions, I always peep at him doing his thing with the children. I think the only help he has is a little French guy in the last couple of years who lives in Crixton here, who does give him a little help. The guy from Togo. But I got to congratulate Mario on that. And when the stadium comes, we will call it Mario Stadium because he deserves it.
I mean, what he has done and he still continues to do, eh?
Yeah, he still continues to do his thing, and he's there, he still break up and he mash up, but he's still doing his thing.
Still, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And he's getting results.
Yes, that's the beauty about it, eh?
That's
right, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's nice to hear.
Then.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay,
bye.
good.
Well, on the topic of Mario,
yes.
I remember Mario when I was a young boy, that was the Mario and Kim, and these are the top guys in Karakou.
We went to school together,
They are the top guys, Chris and, these big guns, I call them big guns, Marvin and Blogger and, all this kind of guy, Coy, cousins, they were the big guys. But I spoke to Mario and I'm very impressed with him. I said to him, I'm coming to the court. He said, come. And I saw a lot of retirees when I walk in the morning, I jog, I up from it when I'm in Karakou.
Yeah.
A lot of the guys who, I'm not calling the name because I want people to feel that they're old.
Okay.
And they look well and they are doing their lawn tennis.
Yeah.
Yeah, this morning, Wednesday morning, they're with Mario all in the morning. And I say retirement is doing well. They say, come and join us. So Mario is doing a good job, and I think he should get a better facility because the tennis court is a kind of dilapidated.
The one that is going to be built now, it's going to be state of the art.
Okay.
That's where they just put on the community center.
Okay.
They demolished that, and that whole area is going to be developed. But the tennis court is going to go right on the side there.
And the people are saying the government is not working.
Well,
it's what you want to listen to.
I don't listen to this.
I mean, that's not something that we should
Live FM caller.
encourage.
Jim,
yes,
I'm calling back again.
Yeah.
One of you all should take my number because I'm listening to some of the recommendations that you're making there. Could that information be sorted for me? If I would like to know how much the place can accommodate. That is one in terms of the accommodation of because you don't want to come up there and then you have problems in terms of number of persons you can accommodate. So that is one of the things. If a group of 10 persons is coming, we can subdivide ourselves and deal with two different families. Who in Karakou can you identify as a competent group of whether it's individuals or organizations that can so direct us to persons that need that help? That is information that is critical also. Because when we come into a particular place. So we start in 6, 7 o'clock in the morning and we're going until. Yeah?
Right.
Remember, we are working in Grenada.
Right.
So the time we leave down here is critical because we work up until Friday. Some people work on Saturdays as well.
Yeah, okay.
But that Sunday, we can able to donate to the people of Karakou. And if we start early, we can do a lot of work in one day and come down the Monday morning.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? But I need to know. Take my number 5341788. and you can call me to further inform me as to the number of persons that place can accommodate. And it's men, so we can camp, so it's not a problem. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
just get that information
Let
for
me get the number one again. 534-1788.
88.
Okay, 1788. Danny. Okay. All right.
Yeah, that would be good. Trust me.
Okay.
And I had an occasion to go down on Paradise Beach tonight after I finished working for that whole day. Had a nice session. They trust me.
Okay.
Yeah, I enjoy myself. I drink 2 beers and I was able to go back and and rest to take the boat early in the morning.
All right.
I thought I would have seen Mr. Leo there, but he wasn't there.
No. He wasn't. Okay. Yeah, no problem,
Okay.
man. Okay, thank you so
Later.
much. Yeah, okay.
Good.
Bye-bye.
But-
There are people out there that are willing to assist, If we could really put together, and coordinate, make sure that, arrangements have been made. I think we could be getting some help from Grenada to assist some people. But we just need to put it together.
And what I think too, they could divide it into two, because some of the guys work on Saturdays. So some will come up on Friday night with the Osprey and work on Saturday, and the rest that will come up on Saturday afternoon could join them on Sunday. I think that's the better deal. Because there are people who work on Saturday up to 4 or 5 Osprey, leave at 5 o'clock on Saturday. So they could come up and join those who came on Friday night. So they'll get a big team. So the work will be continuously.
Right.
Not
yeah.
just work on one day and force yourself, everybody. I think that's the better idea.
That's it. Yeah, I think we better deal with that because it's needed. And like I said, the hurricane season is right around there. It's 2 months from now officially.
Was it right or wrong?
Well, yeah.
Well, I had to look around and see it ahead of me.
Yeah.
We don't want the material to get to smashed up again if a hurricane passes, God forbid, and you have all the material in the house. Whether it's just a simple hurricane, sometimes.
Or even waterlogged.
Yeah, with the water. Yeah, that's what we're trying to do.
Okay.
So you have to get this thing out as quick as possible.
Secured properly.
Okay, let me remind you again the telephone number to call. We got a few minutes more to go in the program. 443-0101. 443-0101 or 403-0101 and 458-1914. 458-1914. So, Dr. Pitt, you coming up here every week. You've seen what's taking place in Carriacou. What's your impression? How you find things going?
Well, I'm really impressed. Trust me, things have been going very quickly and good. All those who criticizing, I think people should just come together because this is a hurricane. Just come together like one. Let's just build back Carriacou and forget about politics, whether you're NMP, NDC. Let's just come as one team and build back the country because the country is much better than it was before. It's green and nice. All the houses, there are better houses, better infrastructure, and so on. And the people are okay. There's food, some people thought that this would have taken years to really, get back as it was. But in months, Carriacou was back on foot.
Yeah.
And I'm very impressed with that.
Yeah.
The guys, they're working.
Well, everybody's making an effort.
Yeah, this is a teamwork. This is not about party. This is about country. Not what the country could do for you, what you could do for your country.
Okay, let me try to take a call quickly. Vibes FM, what's up, caller coming?
Hi, good afternoon.
Yeah.
I've just heard that gentleman call from Grenada, and he wants somebody to recognize. And I'm glad Dr. Pete is there, actually. He would recognize my voice. We need help. My partner lost his farm. Everything has been taken. He's got wire to fence the place, but no one would come to help him to dig holes, to fence the place so he can save some of the animals that he has. And it's very, very sad. And really and truly, I know he's depressed. I know he is, but he pretends to be strong. And if ever they can come to help him just to dig some post holes, that would be so, so good. Because he lost his complete farm. All the animals are all over the place. And because it's not fenced, he cannot save any of them. And Dr. Pitt should know.
Yeah.
Yes, you should know. And really and truly, it would be nice if this wonderful gentleman could just come to help us. I'll be more than welcome. I'll welcome him, really and truly.
Anyway,
Okay.
it's up to you all. Thank you very
All
much.
right. Thank you so much.
Well, I totally agree with Miss J. I totally agree because that is the problem we've been having now with the animals. There are a lot of animals that are stray still, and there are a lot of fencing to be done, and there are no help. So once we get this help, we'll do all the farms, come back as it were before, and all the animals will come in and we'll be in a better position to treat them. A lot of the animals are stray still, and that's the complaint of the people, the fencing and people to help. So I think we are on our way, on our good way to really getting help because people are hearing the cry.
Right. Okay. Well, what you're saying that makes a lot of sense because a lot of the animals are still, on the loose.
They're stray.
Yes. So if you are able to get the fencing down and to put them under control, then you'll be able to attend to them properly.
Yeah, better treatment.
Yeah. You have a lot of work to do.
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot. Because I have just came the last week. I went to a farm in Cherry Hill. Probably you know Miss BB.
Yeah.
She has about 500 chicks. She's doing well. Hurricane didn't destroy her completely. Some of the chicks died, but a lot of them survived. And they're having the problem now with cannibalism. The feathers. That sometimes it's nutritional problem, but most time the beaks are very long.
Yeah.
So it tends to juke one another and in the inner part, and a lot of the hair will come out, and they'll have things like sores, and so on. But to be very honest, I've been lucky to locate the beacon machine from Grenada, from the ministry, and it's now in Caracou. So
That's nice.
there was never the beacon machine in Caracou.
Because I remember, listen to them in Grenada and saying that they had these beacon machines, and the farmers could come, and utilize it, use the machine. So that is nice if we have in Caracou now.
Yeah.
As you just mentioned, this could bring a lot of relief to people who have those problems.
I have one. I still have it in the car. I have it properly in the ministry. I have the beacon machine, so we'll cut the beaks and put this thing on the head, so they will less cannibalism. Because it could die from that.
Right. Okay.
So Caracou, hands up, heads up. People in Caracou. Once you could contact the ministry, contact me, and we'll cut the beaks. There's something new we have in Caracou.
Okay, Vibes FM caller. Right. Okay. Yeah. But what you're saying there is a lot of good news for the people who have those problems. So we're hoping that they'll be able to get in touch with the ministry if they need the service, and they could always call you as well, too, right?
Yeah, they could call me, and we had problems here too with a lot of parasites and so on. So I have located a microscope also, and intend to go. I spoke to the parasitologist in the university. I have to speak to her again, so they'll give me some hands-on because you do this thing years ago in university, and you're not specialized in that,
right? Yeah.
So I'll go there in my spare time, and I'll do some fecals and flotations and so on, and they'll come to Caracou and impart it to people on the farm. So leave the microscope up in Caracou. Once the farm is going with all the new sheep and goat and so on, because the Caracou is a place prone to parasites. So we could do flotation, we could check it out and see what type of parasite they have, the animals, and then we could treat them.
Yeah,
So that's another step we are taking. Instead, we have to bring it down to ground. We have sometimes we make a quick fix. Some of the animal is dying, and you want to know what's the problem. We took some stool sample and just run it on the microscope.
Yeah, okay.
So that's the next thing. I've located a microscope.
Okay.
With slides and everything. So we are getting there.
Well, so you're bringing a lot of service to Caracou.
Yeah. Well, Caracou is my land.
Well, I know that, and what you're doing here is a service that is very much needed.
Yeah.
And you have decided to come to Caracou to make that contribution to, because I know you're putting a lot into whatever you're doing.
But Kim, when I came, there was nothing. There was not even a vet in Caracou.
I know. I remember that.
Everything I bought here.
Right. Okay.
But we are getting there. The farmers are cooperating very well. Very, very well. And everybody called Dr. Pet. Grenada. All over the night they call me. Well, what can I do? I'm from Caracou. I have to help the people. Yeah. That's my island.
Well, not that the Dr. Pet has been a household name now in Caracou. And many, many times people call me and say, "What Dr. Pet number?"
Well, not even in Caracou. Tongues of Vice FM worldwide.
Yeah.
Once I gave you the story. One time a guy, I was driving by Wall Street, going across Wall Street, and a guy was just tooting me. He came on from Australia. He said he wanted to know who was Dr. Pet. So I wondered if somebody's crazy driving behind me, just tooting the horn. And he just wanted to know me because he listens us from Australia, to Vibes FM.
Okay.
We listen to Kim Jones, and then
Yes, okay.
you want to know who is Dr. Pet also.
Okay, right. Well, that's nice, eh? You see, we're reaching out to the people there and the service again. Like I told you in Karakuya, we need it. So we thank you for the service you've been providing and that you continue to provide.
I'm
Okay?
always there for the people of Caribou.
Dr. Pet.
Yeah, always there.
All right, we're getting ready to wrap it up, Dr. Pet, thank you so much again for stopping by. And remember, the door is always open for you. Whenever you're in Karaku, you want to get some information out there, you want to you volunteer your service, anything of the nature, this is the media.
Well, people could call me anytime. Anytime, I mean, day or night, I'm available to give you advice. And even though I have to come up to Karaku, they have to pay the plane for to come coming up.
Okay. Well, that's nice. You committed to that. And we thank you again. And Koi, finally.
Yes, well, it's been another positive vibes experience here this morning, this morning, and I want to say that one of the things that I want us to take away from today's show is the fact that we need to embrace education, because through education, a lot of positive things can happen. As a matter of fact, I think I heard some time ago somebody saying that. I think you, Kim, made the point earlier on that education can bring people out of poverty.
Definitely.
Yeah, and with the initiative being done by this administration to at least have one university graduate in each home, I think we just now we might have more doctors and less patients, or less patients.
And more doctors?
And more doctors is what we need, yes.
All right. Well, thank you so much again, okay?
Yeah.
And to your listeners, as we get ready to wrap it up, we want to thank you so much for being part of the program, and see you next time around.
The views expressed on this program are those of the host and guests and not the views of this radio station.
Well, I want to thank you once again for being part of Speak Out Unfiltered for today. You, our listeners, those of you who listen, those of you who participated in the program as well, thank you so much. And to remind you, every Thursday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., we do it all over again for your listening, pleasure, entertainment, and keeping you informed as well. Until next time, I'm your humble servant, yours truly, Kim the King. It's always a pleasure. Have yourself a wonderful, wonderful rest of the day.